All right, according to YouTube, we are live. What about that thumbnail, man? What about that thumbnail? Creepy ass Halloween thumbnail, right?
I like it. You talking about? Oh yeah, this one. Yeah, it's good, man. You
Wait,
got the
wait.
Weeper.
What one do you think I'd be talking about?
It's more
Yeah,
festive than
the
creepy.
viewer,
Let's say it's festive. I wouldn't say it's creepy.
the
I'm not
viewer takeover one was
unsettled.
pretty good too.
Listen, after the super serious viewer takeover one, I had to go with kind of festive and stuff. Whoa. You all right? Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Pardon me. I thought I muted myself. Just clear my throat before we start.
Let's cue the cat, man.
You the cat, because I want to say Happy Halloween to Jupiter Skies, Chameleon Gaming, PSVR, Jack, Sunshine, Happy Fun Times, Joshua Taylor, Sean B, Argonian Sloth. What is an Argonian Sloth? Is that a Skyrim thing?
It's like a dystopian sloth, but more Argonian.
It's Super Gamer, All My Life, I think, Charles Roche, the senior, the hashtag GameCat. What's up, dude? Hudson Potskin, Corn? Is Corn coming out anytime soon?
Corn?
Darth Vader, the GameCat. Hello, Dark Robot Lord. World Haze, what's up? Says download Riggs. I agree, Riggs is good. Delirium Drew VR. Creepy Betty. Tilo313-VR. He's like a human barcode. A human serial number. Dave Station VR in the chat. So is PSVR Underground. I know that dude. Flame Hat, the Game Cat.
Dave, this is your 10-second warning, man.
Venus Blue. Bit Jello Boy, that Jiggly Gamer Cat. Gabriel004, the Game Cat back in the house with a 599 donation. 499 donation says, Happy Halloween, Pumpkin Ghost Zombie. Bogeyman Productions, what's up, dude? Great. Your takeover intro. Diz the Game Cat, what's up, dude? TJ Silver Lake. Donatello, Toss Me a Ninja Slice. Hudson Potskin, once again, L.W. McQuaid. I don't know why it's so hard to say. Leon Stamos. Hunter the FNAF fan. Robert Meadows. Darwin's Eyeball. Let's go.
This is PSVR GamesCast Live, where we film live whenever the hell we want, apparently, because it is Spooky Saturday. It's Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween!
Oh, God. That thing looks really real.
Can we place pizza bets on how long he'll keep it on for?
Yeah.
Not long, I'll tell you.
Can you do the whole episode like that?
No, I can't.
Well, it just
I can't
slowly
even
lays
see, I can't
eggs
even
in
see
your
anything.
esophagus.
You can't see anything?
Not really. I'm looking towards the computer, I think.
Generally, yeah, in our direction for sure. Dave is dressed up as somebody who got attacked by a face hugger, apparently. AJ on the right hand side of the screen from the Underground, PSVR Underground. Sherlock Holmes?
Sure.
Okay.
That was my guess too, but I can't see it too well.
It's like the closest thing to Sherlock
Well,
Holmes.
give us a Sherlock line. Something about Watson.
Well, I mean, obviously that would be elementary, man. But
So all night long,
Yo, man, that would
anytime
be elementary.
all night long, anytime any AJ says anything, I'm just gonna say no shit, and then you guys can fill in the rest. My name is Brian Paul from this channel right here. As I got my nicest beanie on, and I'm here as AJ this evening. I'm dressed up as AJ.
Oh, good costume. I like it.
Thank you.
you need more beard.
I tried to grow it faster
more
before
metal.
the show, and I don't have any metal shirts. My iCarly shirts are in the wash, but that's as close as I got.
I could send you some beard if you need some beard. I got extra. Just chop it off and send it to you in the mail, right?
Sounds absolutely disgusting. I do not want your beard in the mail.
Oh, come on. It's a good beard.
Guys, a little bit of housekeeping to take care of. Dave, you gonna reveal that pretty face of yours, or are we just gonna?
At some point.
Okay. This would be interesting. I've got bets on 309. I can't imagine you're gonna keep it on for 3 minutes.
Not do it at 309. You can't tell me that first. Now I'm gonna change my behavior.
345.
Oh no, fuck that.
Guys, I know we're gonna be totally off because we're totally off our game. If you guys watched the viewer takeover that we just uploaded, then you can tell that we recorded that at a different time as well, and we're just totally off schedule this week. But we're having a lot of fun, and we've got a lot to talk about. A little housekeeping to take care of. Make sure you join our Discord server. The link is in the description. It's where all the coolest cats hang out 24/7. That's where this conversation happens 24/7. And man, speaking of this conversation, we've got a lot of news to talk about tonight. Don't you think we've got a lot of news to talk about, guys?
We have so much to talk about,
think we
making
have a lot
up
of
for
news
not
to
only
talk about.
Thursday, but a lot of news has broke since then. But first, Brian, we should begin the show each and every week the same way.
Oh, yes. With a little game of what?
I was wondering if he was going to get the whole thing.
Yeah. No, he's
With a
trickling
little
it out.
game of should we or shouldn't we, where we put 60 seconds
60 seconds up on the
up
clock.
on the
The
clock.
way
I don't.
Jeremy
This is my
likes
first
it.
time reciting this. I don't know.
We're going to put 60 virgins up on the clock.
Just how Jeremy likes it.
I have no idea. I don't want to get too technical here. 60 seconds up on the clock. It's our time to tell you, the loyal game cats out there, whether you should or should not be playing and or watching the things we've been playing and or watching and or doing. Who would like to go first?
I'll go last. Or
Oh,
second.
Brian, you go first.
Me? Okay, well then I kind of had something, so I guess this is going to be it. On my mark, get Des, go. Since it's a spooky episode, I would like to start off by talking about something spooky, and that is, I think, an underrated PlayStation VR game, and that is The Exorcist Legion VR. Now, why is it underrated? Because when it came out, it was really buggy and glitchy, and people had major problems with it. Some people had game-breaking bugs, myself included, on occasion. But when it works, and it seems to be very random when that happens, it works awesome, and it's scarier than anything, man. It's 5 relatively short episodes. Each episode you can probably blast through in about 20-ish minutes, but there's actually some replayability, and it's really, really scary. As a Catholic school kid, man, some of the themes it touches upon are absolutely terrifying. Sometimes when I'm playing, I'm scared to be possessed by a demon, and when you're live streaming things, you like to make jokes and pick up like little statues and oh, ha, 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 da, da, da. And I'm scared to make those kind of jokes in this game because it really takes itself really seriously. It's an absolute should we, especially if you can get it on sale. Fingers crossed that it works well for you. I know that some people still have bugs when they play it. I didn't have bugs the last time I played it, and it worked perfectly. So absolutely should we. Who wants to go next? Oh, right. Dave's going last, so it's definitely AJ, no matter how you look at it. On your mark, get Des, and go.
So I could tell you, I'll do 2 right now real quick if I can. You guys have always told me not to get Gungrave VR. And
don't do it.
I did against your will,
You
and I
son of
played
a
it on Saturday Night live streams. And to be honest with you, at first I was like, this isn't a very VR game. I was like, but I kind of am liking some things. And then as you go on, it just gets worse and worse. It is absolutely a shouldn't we for Gungrave VR, as you said. I should have listened. But a should we? I'm going to actually recommend a book. I know this is weird, but I was dressed up as kind of like Sherlock Holmes a little bit. And I one of the Sherlock Holmes stories is a little bit on the horror side. So I would love to recommend The Hounds of Baskerville.
Oh, wow.
While I wasn't didn't have any power in the house, I was reading through it again, and I just love that book. I love all Sherlock Holmes. Hounds of Baskerville.
I like the idea of you reading Sherlock Holmes by candlelight in the
Yes.
hurricane. It's pretty funny.
Yes. I love immersion.
There you go.
Absolutely. We read that in school, actually. And I remember being kind of young reading that in school and being like, oh, Sherlock Holmes is going to be terrible, written by some old dude a long time ago. And I was like, this is
Arthur Conan Doyle.
That's right. It's so good, too. Like that one in particular. Fantastic story, Hounds of the Baskerville. Dave, are you ready?
Yeah, I believe so.
Excellent. Well, then on your mark, get Desra and get started. I don't know.
Okay, so this isn't like a major big recommendation or anything, but it's something I watched the other night in big screen with some people when it debuted, which is the new Mandalorian season on Disney Plus or whatever. I don't know if you guys watched the first one. I kind of liked it, but the new season's pretty cool. I like the way it started out. Got some new characters in there. The casting in that show is incredible. Like, I don't know if you guys know Timothy Olyphant. He was in like Deadwood and Justified and stuff.
Broken Heart Club.
He's a new character. He plays like the marshal in town and stuff, and he's pretty good.
What'd
you say?
Hitman, yeah.
I didn't know that he was Hitman. That's awesome.
Wait, Timothy Olyphant
in the movie, Hitman movie.
I still didn't know that.
They
Yeah.
shaved his head? He shaved his head?
Yeah.
I don't want to see Timothy Olyphant without hair. That sounds weird. That sounds really fucking weird. Anyways, yeah, no, it's pretty good though. The first episode's out, and we watched it in big screen, which was really fun. Getting together and just hanging out there. I can't wait till PSVR gets that, because big screen itself is the thumbs up here.
2,
Big screen.
1.
It's great if you have the opportunity. And I'm taking this thing off. Ugh.
There we go.
You did really well.
Yeah. your hair's extra crazy now. Extra crazy. Nice.
Okay, now I can read comments. Man, I haven't seen anything anybody said.
I think we actually got a couple tips to take care of if we don't
cool.
mind taking
Yeah.
a second here. Let's backtrack.
Absolutely.
And for some reason my chat window wasn't showing up. Let's take care of. Actually, I don't know. Do you guys have it? Because it's not showing up for me at all.
We had Jay Meow with the $1.99 donation, says happy Halloween to you as well. I got this during the intro, but let's go ahead and do it again. Gabriel 004, the Game Cat, back in the house once again. $4.99 donation, says happy Halloween. This is, of course, our favorite time of the year, usually.
It's the most wonderful time.
Of the year.
But we have a lot of news to talk about today. We're going to be discussing a lot about the future of PlayStation VR, which I think is kind of
Just
important
singing
to
right
us.
over him.
Just like viewer takeover, man.
It's like, yeah.
But we've got
Did you
14
put that in the
items
show?
on the list.
Sorry, AJ, we're totally
guys-
derailing you.
Come on,
Go ahead. He started it. I just went along with it.
It's going to be a 10-hour
baker's dozen.
14 items on the list, including some the latest on the PS5. We got some great news about some games that we're going to be getting our hands on soon. Some new releases coming out, some finalized kind of windows projections for that. 2 new releases this week. A Planet of the Discount sale that we're going to do a VR's Got Talent through. And yeah, so of course we're going to start with PS5. And the first thing is that the adapters have finally started to become available to order. Hopefully you secured yours. If not, make sure you follow me on Twitter. Follow Shuhei Yoshida on Twitter.
AJ,
But just
not
those
to talk
guys.
over you
That's
again.
it.
Not to talk over you again, but I thought we were going to do tips. Aren't we doing tips? We got a bunch of tips to take care of here.
There's new ones now. I already did the tips.
Oh, but there's more. Sorry.
Yeah,
I thought they were part of the same thing we were just talking about. I don't see the previous ones in my chat. I just see Jay Meow and Donatello. So sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, let's take care of tips. Since we broke into it, let's do it. And I'll get a PlayStation 5 trailer up.
All right, Jay Meow with the $2 says, "Can we ban Gamer Chick?" Actually, we can
No.
technically. I've got the wrench, so
No,
act up, Tiffany.
Gamer Chick
and
stays.
you are gone. No. Don't make me have a mod battle with you.
Listen, Gamer Chick
actually,
can
can you
stay
unban
as
someone?
long. Yeah. Wait, what?
I don't know. I hung out with her last night. I'm not sure if we should be keeping her around. She's a suspect.
Gamer Chick can stay as long as she
Amazing.
admits that Resident Evil 7 is the best PSVR game that we have.
no, she's staying, and she's gonna not admit that.
See, you guys just
Both
haven't
wrong.
played poker with her. She's a devil when you play poker. All of a sudden.
That
That's
usually
awesome.
means you're good at poker.
Oh, I guess she is. But and then our next one is $10 from Donatello, the scientist game cat, who says, "Thank you for a heartfelt AMA. Love you guys." Thank you, Donatello. He's referring to during the meetup, we did this AMA, sort of just impromptu. People threw questions in the Discord. And I think we went for like a full GAMESCAST, like 3 hours worth of hanging out and talking.
Oh God, it was exhausting.
Well, it was all about personal stuff too, not like games. So
Right.
a little harder to talk
It's one thing when we get to talk about like PlayStation VR and PlayStation VR, our speculation on PlayStation VR2. It's very impersonal, but I think when you go down that rabbit hole, you start talking about yourself for so long. It's just like at a certain point you go, "Are you sure you guys are interested in hearing about this?" Because there's no way that you are. But thank you to everybody who hung out for that. That was a very last minute decision, and it was a lot of fun to hang out with you. And
Yeah,
I
it
feel
worked
like I
out
got-
much better than I could have imagined, really.
Amazing.
I feel like we
Yeah.
all got to know each other a little bit more personally.
The cool thing about the meetup is, I don't know if you guys made it in the chat. I think I see a lot of people in here who did make it to Rec Room and stuff. We felt like we were flying by the seat of our pants because Rhodey, one of our mods, had some personal stuff come up and could not handle it the way that he was going to handle it. So we were just like, oh, let's come up with something, I guess. And
He
it
was
worked
kind of
out
in charge.
so much better than we could have imagined, just because of how cool everyone is and how
You'll
it
see
all
a
just
small clip from it in
Yeah.
viewer takeover. You'll see a small clip
yeah.
Well,
of some of the shenanigans.
and also a shout out to, even though Rhodey was kind of the one heading it up and sort of getting everything organized, shout out to, Creeper Betty, shout out to Jason the Livinator, shout out to Justin Credible, and anybody else who helped out by creating all those rec rooms, those custom rec rooms for us. Like,
Amazing.
I walked into that and went, man, here I was just telling Rhodey, like, just tell me where to be, tell me when to show up, and because I'm doing all the normal without parole stuff, and I definitely want to be there, but I don't really have time to plan it. And then I walk in and realize that people were actually doing a whole lot of work behind the scenes, and just was like, I was absolutely floored. Those rooms were stunningly well designed and really well done. There was so much love and so much thought put into it. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for that.
When Betty and Justin and Liv and those guys get in working on a room, man, it's gonna look good. They're so good creators, such good creators. We got some more tips coming in. VR Grid with 5 funny Canadian dollars says PSVR in 2022. I'll bet a pizza on it.
You got
a pizza on it. Yep.
Well, I'll bet you.
You want it, Brian, or am I taking?
No, I'll take it, man.
Yeah, so you got to buy us 2 pizzas. I like this.
Right?
I'll take
Yeah,
it too. You got to buy us 3 pizzas.
3
Yeah,
pizzas.
if you
But
lose, you're gonna buy us 3 pizzas, Grid.
if you win,
And,
money
you'll
your
get
mouth is.
3 pizzas.
Also, shout out.
Here's the thing you don't know, Grid. $5 in Canadian money only buys 1 slice of pizza in America. You can't get us a whole pizza with that.
Amazing.
Okay, then we got
Shout out to
another
the VR Grid. Love his
Yeah,
channel. Love his reviews and stuff. Good dude.
I mean, love is a strong
on a
word.
lot of-
Shout out to
He's on
Ryan
a
at
lot
the
of
VR
love,
Grid.
Grid.
We appreciate your channel. We tolerate you. No, I'm kidding. Of course.
Next one is from the Argonian Sloth. Argonian Sloth?
Just
Okay,
like
Spark.
dystopian sloths.
Got it. $7. It says Spark has been down for a week again. Happy Halloween horror. That
Oh, man.
sucks.
I've been hearing
Spark.
about this. Yeah, I heard
your shit
Spark,
together,
and I heard
Spark.
their Discord is kind of on fire right now. That's unfortunate.
Pacer loves giving me shit. Pacer says, I love the Wolfman costume, Dave. Spot on, bro. I'm coming for you in poker. I'm going to get you, Pacer.
That's awesome.
And then finally, Bell Ramio, the Game Cat, with €5.
Yes.
49?
Yes.
549 euros.
Yes,
I
you've
got
done it.
I've
Finally.
learned something for once in my life. Okay. I have pumpkin soup today for GamesCast. Woo, spooky.
I don't know if I've
Yeah.
ever had pumpkin soup. Does it taste like just pumpkin pie liquefied?
Seems like it would. Yeah. To me, the idea of a pumpkin soup seems like, only if you got nothing else to make a soup with.
Now,
You
is
know,
it
what
like
I'd be like-
like bread bowls, and then you eat it out of an actual pumpkin
That sounds disgusting.
instead of a bread?
You can never get all the scum out of the pumpkin. I would never eat anything out of a pumpkin.
I bet you could de-scum
Oh.
a pumpkin pretty well.
Red Rover.
Let me get this one.
Joe Grover.
Red Rover, the effing Game Cat. That's Joe Grover, our friend. Send them right over. $30 donation. Holy crap, man. Thank you so much. He says, I'm spending my costume money on you, Mooks, which is great because I don't like costumes on me. You're very generous, man. Thank you very, very much. Hopefully everything's going well over in your neck of the woods. I hope you move back into your place. Let us know in the comments, man. Let us know how that's all working out for you. All right. AJ?
All right. So back to the PS5 news. Thank you guys so much for being here with us and for all the donations. We love you guys to death. So the adapters have started going out. Make sure you use any of the links from our videos or Twitter or whatever Discord stuff to secure your adapter.
How much do you love that Shuhei Yoshida posted a picture of him holding one saying, I just got mine, like it just got here. And I was like, you're telling me that you had to go fill out the form? Did it take you 90 minutes like it took the rest of us? Did it just show up at your house? No. He stopped by the office and he grabbed one out of like an outgoing mailbox.
The funny thing to me is he has so much goodwill built up that people were commenting on his Twitter like, hey, dude, it's broken. It doesn't work. What the hell? This is annoying. And then he would comment like, we're working on it, smiley face. And they were like, thank you, Shuhei. We love you, Shu. And it's like, he didn't even fix it. Like,
the thing about Shu, man, is, he is, I don't care what his status is right now as the head of Indies, but he will always be like one of the head figures of PlayStation. For me personally, he will always be representative because he's one of those dudes that just gets down in the trenches and interacts with so many people. and he's such an amazing person. And for what he's done for PlayStation is just amazing. And yeah, he was out there tweeting all the different links to the different regions for the adapter and stuff, and just a shining example of like what it means to be a leader. And thank God, he is there still and just providing leadership.
I have pictures of me and him somewhere from like Beyond 300.
Oh
yeah,
wow, that's
nice.
cool.
Yeah.
So guys, we love to joke around and dick around all the time, but we have some serious stuff to talk about here. We have to talk about the future of PlayStation VR. There was an article posted recently from Washington Post that everybody's been talking about, and we need to discuss it. We want to, basically says PlayStation CEO Jim Ryan on expanding the brand and the far off future of VR is what it's called. But he basically goes on to talk about the future of VR as a whole, not PSVR specifically, but VR as a whole, and says, quote, "I think we're more than a few minutes from the future of VR," Ryan said. "PlayStation believes in VR, Sony believes in VR, and we definitely believe at some point in the future, VR will represent a meaningful component of interactive entertainment. Will it be this year? No. Will it be next year? No. But will it come at some stage? We believe that, and we're very pleased with all the experience that we've gained with PlayStation VR, and we look forward to seeing where that takes us in the future."
And of course, everybody only read the part that said, "Will it be this year? No. Will it be next year?
Right.
No." And that's like everybody's focusing on that. He's talking about the VR market as a whole, guys. Like he's not talking about a PSVR2. I'm pretty sure.
Well, here's the
people
truth.
just latched onto that one little bit.
We're getting ready for the PS5 launch. We're 2 weeks away from securing that, and we've been very much anticipating, the next step for PSVR, which was obviously what we're dubbing PSVR2. And there's been, we've had this, we've had some thoughts around it in the past about, it being probably a 2021, like late 2021 release, somewhere in that window is what we originally planned. But then with the launch of the console, with Quest 2 coming out, with all this other stuff, we really wanted to say like, hey, we're ready, right? We're ready for something more. And, with this comment, it's still just speculation. We still don't have any like real clear answers on a lot of things. And a lot of things that have been going on have been keeping us guessing. In particular, the way that the PSVR headset is going to work with the PlayStation 5, which we're going to talk about two articles. We're bringing the Upload VR article, who's gone in and they've discovered that it seems like, and this, it seems pretty accurate, that
how do you wear your beanies like this all the time?
Okay, so while we have a brief pause here, AJ's mic is out, so I'm going to tell these tip guys what it's all about.
Hell yeah.
Christian Mateo, $5, and this guy is great. We met him in big screen watching old James Bond movies last night and told him about the Discord, and we're like, yeah, we got a community of people who are really cool, just come through, and he actually signed up, and he just tipped, and he said, thanks for having a welcoming community. Thanks for joining, dude. Absolutely. And
Nice
his name in
Christian.
there is Sexy AF if you see him around. He's a new guy.
Ooh.
Treat him nice.
I'm intrigued
Danny
already.
Parker with the €6 says greetings from Germany.
What's
Greetings
up?
to you as well, Danny.
See, that's my dude, Danny Parker. Everybody gets a dude. That's my dude.
That's my dude.
If we're assigning dudes to different GamesCast hosts, then Danny Parker's my dude.
I'm gonna just for him. I'm
There
gonna
you go,
set
you're
up
back.
go ahead, AJ. You're good.
okay. So
Well, we got one more tip to get out real quick while we're doing tips already. Alex the Mac, $4.99 says, I'm thinking that if Microsoft shows some sort of interest or even reveals VR coming to Xbox, then Sony would go in full in VR development. I can't even read this. Then Sony would go full in VR development and release.
all right. I will touch base on that. Because that's
We'll
part
get
of this conversation. But essentially what we have learned is that PSVR is basically going to be used on PS5 for backwards compatibility. We still are hoping that, PS5 would be able to enhance PSVR in every way possible. And that would include like graphics updates. We already know that there are some benefits like loading speeds, and frames per second, which actually should provide a nice boost. And anybody that was on an OG PS4, which is the majority of people, are going to see the biggest benefits. Now, that's not stopping us, the hardcore of the hardcorest PSVR players, from wanting that next gen feel as soon as possible. And there's so many things to break down here. One of them, I mean, like Alex the Mess said, first of all, what we do know is that they are working on a PSVR2. They've stated it multiple times that they do plan on doing that. The big question mark here is when. When are they going to not only release it, but when are they going to give us a roadmap for it? And that's what we're waiting on right now. And one of the reasons that obviously they are keeping it is, like Alex the Man mentioned, with Microsoft. Microsoft is not doing us any favors by saying, kind of downplaying VR and stuff, and not really jumping in. Right now, the competition is the Quest. And as successful as the Quest is, the margin of sales and business is like ginormous between what PlayStation is doing with their flat gaming, which is very successful, mind you, at the moment. And I really think that they are they're taking care of the launch, and then I think the focus could potentially go to PSVR after.
Well,
the problem is the communication.
One thing that's important when you want to bring Oculus into this conversation is Sony does have a lot of money. They're very successful, but Facebook has basically infinite money to throw at anything that they want. And so if they want to make a new Quest every year, like they're doing, it's like a new iPhone, which seems like their release cadence, they can do that because they can sell it, probably not even make money on the device, and then just hope people get the software and buy into their ecosystem. Whereas like Sony can't really just throw money at a problem until it's fixed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll see how that plays out.
An annual update to the Quest has worked well so far.
If they keep it at $300, it will continue to work. People pay $1,000 for an iPhone every year. People pay $1,000 for an iPhone every year. I'm not saying people will always buy the newest one, because sometimes people buy an iPhone 7 if the 9 is out because it's cheaper now. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I don't think the Quest model works, or it's not going to work once there's a new PlayStation VR headset. Because
I hope not.
Because right now, why it's working is because people have this belief. They're under the impression that it's some kind of upgrade, and it is technically. When you look at the controllers, they've got analog sticks and it's inside-out tracking, and that's one of the complaints a lot of people have about PlayStation VR. But as far as power goes, and about being able to play like the biggest and best games, it's not there. You get this onboard mobile processor that's about as powerful as a PlayStation 3. So this is all working for them right now because they're like, hey, we got this cheap headset, and at $300, it's practically disposable. So like beat it the fuck up, and every year you just buy a new one, and it's slightly better. And then, but I think when PlayStation says, hey, here's a headset, and they don't need to charge all that much for it, $300 will definitely give it pretty much top of the line, everything we need, because all the processing and the hard drive and everything else is in the PlayStation 5, right? And they're going to be able to do that wirelessly, and they're able to give us new controllers. And then suddenly, you can't just release a slight enhancement every year and expect people to pay another $300 every year when there's this very, very competitive, way more powerful device. Because if PlayStation 5 ends up being like the PlayStation 4 and just ends up in every household, well, then like that cost doesn't even come into play because you already have a PlayStation 5 sitting there, right? So then you're comparing headset to headset and not even adding the price of the console into the mix at a certain point. So, and then of course, then it's going to be the library of games, it's going to be the Sony exclusives, and it's going to be like the bigger AAA games, and in these open world games that probably Quest 3 is still going to struggle to be able to handle. So I think the business model works for Quest right now, but I think that's the end of the line, man. The second PSVR 2 comes out, that is the end of the line of the Quest model, because then
I don't think so. I disagree with that.
Let me just say real quick, so they're gonna, assuming the PSVR 2 is going to work with the PS5 and not be a standalone thing, which is really what I would expect, with this Wi-Fi 6 technology built in and stuff. My original prediction was basically that around January we were going to maybe, if we were lucky, this is just my own speculation, around January, I was thinking we get an announcement and then hopefully by like 2021, a release. And the reason behind that was because when Sony dives into something, they don't usually just go for like, what is the quickest, fastest, cheapest thing we can do? They usually, their style has kind of always been, how can we innovate and bring like, the best, most advanced technology into this new model and stuff. I mean, look at what they're doing with PS5. I actually feel like a lot of PS5's design takes some inspiration from VR as in general, being this whole, we're going to try to increase the immersion of standard gaming, right? The speed, the haptic adaptive triggers, and things like that. I do expect to end up making it into the PSVR 2 headset. Things like new controllers with adaptive triggers, the haptic feedback, stuff like that, and it would be pretty darn cool, man. But the important part, like I said, is giving us enough along the way, which we do know we have lots of games still on the way. There's tons of people that are going to be upgrading to a PS5 from an OG that are going to see tons of benefits. And then, but they're going to, we still don't have a date. They could announce something early 2021, late 2021, later. We don't know. All we know at this time is that they're working on something.
The last time we heard anything even remotely close to a release window was in the Mark Cerny Wall Street Journal interview, where he said, he insinuated that roughly a year after PlayStation 5, we'd see PSVR 2, and if they stick with that, if that's still on the table as a release window, somewhere mid to late next year, then everything is going exactly like we all thought it was going to go. The only difference is that we all sort of maybe thought that the current headset would be able to play some PlayStation 5 games, right. PlayStation 5 VR games, and since that's doesn't seem to be the case right now, and Sony's definitely trying to say, this is PSVR 1 and this is PSVR 2. And PSVR 1 only does PS4 and PSVR 2 only does PlayStation 5, which I think is smart. Right. Keeping the consumers educated on what you're doing in terms of like keeping the market separate and people not picking up PlayStation 1 thinking they can play PlayStation VR 2 games or PlayStation 5 games, being able to be very, very clear about what games you can play on, which I think is really smart because they're already doing this weird cross-generational thing and it can get really muddy really quickly. So that's the only difference.
I definitely don't want PS5 games to be held back by PS4 games, like how the PS4 Pro was held back by the original. Ryan from the VR Grid posted on Twitter. He's like, "What do you think about the prospect of PS4 Pro and PS5 exclusive games?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't want anything. I don't want PSVR 2 or next gen games to have anything to do with PS4 games or anything. I want next gen games. I like the transition of PS5 being backwards compatible. I would like, if anything, an option for developers to be able to patch their game and run them with some kind of enhancements other than more than just loading times and frames per second. I want personally more than that, some kind of PS5 patch. And that's something I'm going to keep pushing and fighting for and clawing for because that's just what I want.
They know. Okay.
I don't care. But until they give me like another headset or something, then that's what I'm going to be pushing for in the meantime. I'm going to be satisfied with some of the games we got coming out. We've got, Sniper Elite After the Fall, Hitman 3 trilogy, not just Hitman 3, but the entire trilogy is going to be playable in VR. That's a AAA game.
That's 3 AAA games, just like Wipeout Omega Collection.
Right. And Dash Racing and stuff. There's a lot I'm looking forward to, but until we get like some kind of definitive answer, that's the problem here, is the communication over the subject. I agree. I lost track of what you were saying a minute ago, Brian. And I was going to say I agree with you up until the point. I think it was dividing the PlayStation 1 and the PSVR 1 and PSVR 2. I'm like, yes, I totally agree that it is smart to divide those, but they're not doing a good job of that. They're doing a really bad job and causing lots of confusion, and they're not saying it just like straight up, and
Well,
that
I think
causing issues.
In the long run, what they're doing is to avoid confusion. But for the people who are really invested in it right now and want to know what the PS5 does for VR, then it's not so much confusion as just like, tell me something, man, like something definitive. Like what they've said is we will not announce any PS5 PSVR titles.
We have not.
We have not announced. So does that mean there never will be any? Just say, listen, guys, here's how we're going to do it. So we know what to deal with, you know, what's coming.
Right.
And like AJ said, there's still plenty of good games coming out. And I think what a lot of people forget is just because a new console comes out doesn't mean that everyone just stops using the PS4. There's a huge part of the market that didn't get one, can't afford it, like any number of reasons wants to wait. Like people who buy consoles day one are not the majority of people who end up with the console, you know what I mean? So I think PS4 still has a long lifespan, at least a year, where games will still be coming out focused at PS4. Maybe there's PS5 version 2 if you want to play flat on, you know, games that support both, like Hitman. But I think really this kind of doom and gloom about like, oh well, because we're not getting PS5 VR games, this is terrible. But it's like, you know, I think we've all been pretty satisfied with some, you know, issues here and there, but I think PSVR overall, we wouldn't be here doing this if we didn't love the thing. So if I can get faster loading times on the games that are just going to keep getting better and better as we go, because Brian has said this before, the end of the console generation is when you get your best games, always, no matter the console. And so I think that's going to be true here too. Like this kind of sundowning period will be where we see some of our favorite games. I think like Sniper Elite looks really, really good. So I don't know.
The problem is from a leadership and from a messaging standpoint, it feels kind of like a slap in the face to some of us who are like on top of every single VR game that comes out. You know, we've been with the hardware for forever. A lot of people that are going to be picking it up for the first time are going to be like, "Oh, this is amazing" and stuff. And it's and it is. But
here's my question to you: would our reaction be much worse if they came out and said, or any different, if they came out and said, okay, guys, straight up, there's no PS5, PSVR1 games. We're telling you straight up, there's no questioning about it. This is precisely what we're doing. Wait till the PSVR2 if you want to use your PS5 on VR. Yeah. If they said that, wouldn't we be just as pissed as we are now? Like, I feel like maybe confused is a different emotion than pissed. But I think people honestly, would react. Well, I'm saying like it's maybe not in their interest to come out and say that specifically because either way the backlash is there. It might be more intense backlash if you just say no, we're not even going to consider this.
I think people appreciate transparency.
They do, yeah, they do.
And so there might be a tinge of disappointment that comes along with hearing something like that. But at least it's not. I don't know. Should I buy a PlayStation 5? Shouldn't I? I'm only buying a PlayStation 5 because of PlayStation VR. How many times on Twitter, how many times in our comment section do you see that from everybody being like, oh, I'm so glad I didn't buy a PlayStation 5 because it was only for PSVR. And now they're reacting to a quote that wasn't even about PlayStation VR. So it's like confusion on top of confusion, and then there's disappointment on top of like miscommunication. And it's just like this jumble of it's just a big mess right now. And I'd much rather hear the words straight from the horse's mouth and be like a little disappointed, but at least clear on what's happening.
Right.
Well, I think part of it too is that Sony as an organization isn't coming out and saying in like a press release or on the blog or anything like specific about this, but then you interview a guy and he just talks about VR because like the gist of what he's saying is that he believes in VR and that they are committed to VR, which is what people are overlooking entirely for the details about when's it coming.
Yeah, I saw an article that was like, I saw one article that said Jim Ryan confirms PSVR 2.
Yeah, see, that's the take that I like. I like that take.
I thought that was really funny. I was like, there's the one guy. Well, they've said before that they plan on doing it post-launch of PS5, which makes sense because you have to sell PS5s first before you can sell PSVR 2 if they're connected. If you don't sell PS5s, then how are you going to sell PSVRs? Unless it's a standalone, but that doesn't seem like what they would be doing.
Can we just say that the general message right now should be everybody chill? Everybody,
Yeah.
don't get worked up. Let them do their PlayStation 5 thing, and then give them a few months, and then hopefully,
I'll give it a few months.
yeah, hopefully early next year they'll say, hey, I know you've all been interested in knowing what our PlayStation VR2 plans are, and I'm still very convinced it's coming next year, 2021, and whether that be, the ridiculous Brian Paul speculation of early being meaning like the first half of the year, or the much more understandable and much more what we have all sort of been expecting for the last year now,
Holiday season.
Q4 2021.
Yeah.
Either way,
November.
yeah, either way, man, that's all within about a year, and I'm more than happy playing all of these games that are coming to PlayStation VR in the meantime. So,
And the other thing that, oh, sorry, go ahead. The other thing
I was
people
just
aren't
saying,
thinking
don't get
about here-
overworked.
Yeah, I mean, also, like, it doesn't mean PSVR on PS4 or even backwards compatible on PS5 is going anywhere. Like we said, there's a lot of games coming, but at the end of a console generation, when the new one comes out, the old ones get cheaper, and more people buy PS4s when a PS5 comes out, which it doesn't make sense logically, but that's just how markets work. Like people are like, oh, I waited till it was cheap, and now I'm going to get it.
Yeah, hopefully there'll be a
And
big
so-
price drop.
Yeah, and I think we'll see new PS4 players coming in,
Yeah.
which is, still going to keep the market growing there. I don't think anybody's going to stop releasing PSVR games. Just because-
The whole line drawn between backwards compatibility and PSVR, and like only PS4 games being playable on PS5 via backwards compatibility, I should say, that actually like leads me to believe, just as speculation, the part that would make the most sense is if they actually did have like some announcements that they were gearing up for. But if it's not ready, it's not ready, and there's nothing you can do about it. But not having PSVR support for the Gen 1 headset on PS5 games does tell me that is directed because there's going to be a second headset.
Right, 100%. All right, guys, that was Viewer Takeover. Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
If you guys, you can skip that episode.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
but real quick, the other thing I want to throw in, which I did say in Viewer Takeover also, but we talk about, okay, are the graphics going to get better? Is the resolution going to get better? Is it going to run better in some way on a PS5 backwards compatible with the game boost? Regardless of if that's possible or if you can patch a game for PS5 to make it run better, all that stuff we don't know. Loading times in VR are actually a huge immersion breaker. And I think that people think, oh, this isn't going to improve my experience at all. But play Iron Man VR on the PS5 with its loading times and tell me it didn't make a difference. Because like that killed the game for me when I played it. But if it was as fast as I'm seeing like Miles Morales load up on PS5, which is instant, then like the game becomes a different game almost, because you're not sitting in loading screens the whole time. You just hop in, you're Iron Man, boom. And I think that ease of getting into something without staring at a black screen for 2 minutes or whatever is actually going to improve the experience overall, even if you're not getting better graphics and stuff like that. Just like quality of life stuff, I think it's going to be important.
Yeah. I'm sorry if I missed any of the comments in the chat. I've got my chat backed up all the way up to some donations.
Got a ton of donations.
All I'm going to say for a final thing here is that Sony needs to be one of the people to help lead the market into the VR market into the mainstream. They have the power to do it more than anybody else. Microsoft's not going to do it.
That's not true. No, Facebook has more power. They spend so much money on ad budgets for like every sporting event I've seen is sponsored by Oculus from Facebook.
Right.
Well,
that's certainly going to help too. That's going to help too, for sure.
It does help. Yeah, it gets people interested. And, if they see it and they're like, oh, VR looks cool, and then they research, maybe they'll end up on a PSVR anyways. So I don't know.
Well, hopefully the market just continues to grow sooner than later so that more and more people, and somebody had mentioned something about it. I think it's in one of the tips, so I'll address it there. But Christian Mateo with the $5 donation says, "Sexy AF."
I already did him. I did him.
Did you do
Danny? I told a whole story about him.
We got Christian, we got Danny, we got Alex. So we're back to Danny Parker with the €6 donation saying, "Oh, Brian, I'm flattered. You should be. I mean, no, I should be flattered that you're here hanging out with us. Thank you very much for being here." Next up is Hugh Guyver with the Australian $10 donation. He goes, "Pizza, pizza, pizza. Ooh. Money, money, money. PSVR without parole. Fire, fire, fire. Hi from Mac, etc., etc., etc."
Shout out to your cousin Mac.
cousin Mac.
It was good meeting you at the meetup, Hugh, by the way.
It was.
Yes.
He came through to the meetup. He didn't bring his cousin, unfortunately.
Now, Danny Parker
Really
was
good
being
guy.
harassed in the comments, in the chat, to change his name to GameCat ever since I told him he was
Nice.
my dude. And now, then he comes back with Danny Parker, the GameCat, with the 18 euro donation, says, did it.
Did it.
Thank you so much, man. That is awesome. It's nice to see that
I got
you're
this one.
officially a cat now. Speaking of which, Tornado's back there sleeping. You can barely
No.
see him.
Carlos is sleeping right here in the red light. I don't know if you can
My
see
dog's
him.
outside.
He's right
You
there.
don't have to turn on the red light.
Genetic
Turn on
blasphemy.
the red light. Sorry, we won't sing over the tip, I promise. Well, I promise for myself.
Genetic blasphemy. Yeah, you're not promising shit right now. Genetic blasphemy with a $5 donation. Thank you so much, my dude. And he says, I'm thinking we'd have unhappy leaks from devs if there wasn't something coming soon. They're
No,
being
they
secretive, which means they might have a secret.
Yeah.
Devs would not leak anything unless they did not want to be Sony devs ever again. Even if they're unhappy, you can't leak shit like that just because you're pissed. Like, you will never be allowed in the Sony store again. They'll be like blacklisting you. And shit.
The only thing that we had heard in terms of like leaks and rumors and stuff was the stuff regarding Resident Evil 8 Village, which Aesthetic Gamer, who's very, very credible as leaking information and stuff, said that they had actually had a bunch of VR stuff planned for Resident Evil 8 Village on the PS5 reveal, and then something had happened to where that got taken out. That caused us to lead to the speculation of, well, they took it out and they're saving it for another event, which still could be happening. We don't really know. It could be COVID related. It could be development related, all sorts of things. So we'll just have to wait and see a little bit longer. David Moore.
Oh, please let me take this one. Please, please, please.
Take it
David
away.
Moore, the $5 nation, says there has been a pizza bet won about PS5/PSVR 1 launch titles. Brian said no. AJ and Dave, pay up.
Wait, when in history did I say that there would be a bunch of PSVR 1 launch titles for PS5? I don't remember making that bet.
I remember
If I
that
did-
bet, and David Moore is the official keeper of the pizza bets. I will say, however,
Source.
and I don't know if he follows
I
up.
thought you said there was like 20 lineup games.
That
for
was
PSVR?
that was before who, me or Dave?
No, I thought Brian said that there was like 20.
A long time ago. I was like, yeah, I think this is gonna be the case.
Oh.
Then when it came to making the bets,
The bet. Okay.
by that
Okay,
time I
that's
had come
fine.
around completely and been like, no, I don't think this is going to happen anymore. I do want to say, however, as far as pizza bets are concerned, today is the 31st. It's Halloween,
Yes, it is.
and I knew I was going to lose this bet, but I bet AJ a pizza that Fully a Dear Father would be out by now or today on PlayStation VR, which means those pizza bets cancel each other out. I think.
Oh, wait, guys. I can satisfy this right now.
I have no idea.
I have no idea what he means by that.
I'm feeling very unsatisfied though.
I'm okay. While he's doing that, I'm gonna catch up on some of these comments. There's also another donation.
Red
You-
Rover,
you wanna
the
get that-
effing game cat, Joe Grover, $5 says, just watched the Litterbox Tornado Road Trip. Oh my God, you're so far behind. Patreon is so cool for the extra content. PSVR without parole, La Familia. If you don't know what he's talking about,
All right, so
if you don't know what he's talking about, over on Patreon, if you give us just $1 or more every single month, there is a bonus show that I put up every so often. Sometimes it's once a month, sometimes it's 4 times a month, called The Litterbox. It's just me and Jeremy shooting the shit. But one of the episodes we did was the actual road trip. I filmed almost the entire thing of me and him on the road, each way, going to pick up Tornado for the very first time, meeting her for the very first time. And it's like, I mean, I almost cried, man. I was like so emotional. I was like, oh my God, this is the person I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. It's a cat. Right? Anyways, thank you very much, Joe. I'm glad you enjoyed that episode. Crap,
so real quick,
Yeah.
who am I shipping this to? Who am I mailing this box to? Because I got a pizza right here ready to go.
Is there
Him.
pizza in
Who
it?
wants it? It's in my fridge, actually. I took it out. It's empty now. But it's good pizza. I'll show you the pizza if you want. It's very delicious.
Show me the pizza.
I'm only going to make
This
pizza
should've-
bets with AJ from
this-
now on.
It should have been my should be because it's a delicious pizza. It's got artichoke hearts. It's got roasted red peppers. It's got grilled cherry tomatoes.
We've also got a
basil
tip from
pesto.
Bel Ramio, the game cat, one of our faithful moderators, with the €2.29 donation. Says, wait for it. And then just a moment later, he gives us another $2.29 donation and says, coming soon. I'm at a loss, man. Oh, and then holy crap, Belram of the
Another
Game
one.
Cat with the €22 donation, saying no matter
Can I
what.
read this one?
Yes, you may.
No matter what Sony does, people would be disappointed. Plus, PlayStation 5 day one is a must for free bug snacks. And I agree with you. I'm going to be playing bug snacks day one. I took a week off when the PS5 drops. And if I can't play VR, I'm going to play the shit out of bug snacks.
If you're interested in non-VR stuff too, yeah, I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Talking about bug snacks.
Yeah, you know,
Meow Meow.
there's a. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, Meow Meow was asking if there's even like a head product manager for PSVR. There is. If you go to the audio and tech like article that they had about the headphones or whatever, her name is there.
Excellent.
Cool.
I know. I think I missed
so
something
many
there.
more tips. AJ, do you want to take the next tip from ET?
Let's see here. ET.2K9.now says with the $10 donation, thank you so much, man. It says for the Brian's impersonation of AJ, watching 20 minutes behind.
Yep, he had to give it up because the beanies are too scratchy.
I caught a little bit of that.
It was
We've also got
it's warm. That's all. It's too warm
very
here.
scary. The baby
Scary.
gamer cat with the $5 donation. It says Thursday, Saturday, doesn't matter. If you say GamesCast live, they will come. Thanks for all you do, Brian, Dave, and AJ. Thank you guys to all you do, man.
Yeah,
because,
seriously.
you know, we are definitely, no matter how you're feeling right now, whether your emotions are high, whether you're just like, it's all good, man. Like, I'm going with the flow. We'll get what we want eventually. You will always have a place here to come to stay here, to come back to, whatever you want to do, man. It is a free world kind of to do whatever you want, but you will always have a home here at PSVR Without Parole with us.
That's right. Absolutely. Safe space. And then again, Danny Parker, the Game Cat, my dude, with the €5 donation says, also, Lo-Fi was confirmed for PS5. That was one of those weird ones, right?
I've seen this floating around a lot as someone saying, oh, well, what we think about the PSVR 1 and PS5 is all wrong because Lo-Fi was announced. And that, okay, so first of all, on the Kickstarter, which nobody ever meets all their Kickstarter goals, it's rare. A lot of people do. But anyways, he said next gen PSVR. Now, that doesn't say PS5 with PSVR 1. He said next gen PSVR. And if I know the guy the way I think I do from following him on Twitter, where he acts a fool all the time, he doesn't think that the current PSVR is very good. He's actually a Quest 2 guy. Like, he's really into the Quest right now. And so I don't think that he has any personal investment in bringing Lo-Fi to PS5 with PSVR 1. He talked about the limitations of stuff like that. And it's just like, I really don't expect that we'll see Lo-Fi before a PSVR 2. So that doesn't prove anything, even though one article from like a year ago said something that seems to indicate that.
Well, also, whenever he tweets about Lo-Fi, he uses hashtag PS5, hashtag VR. So that is a Blair Renaud thing. He does it all the time.
Oh, is he doing that? I didn't notice that.
Like for the last year, he's been doing that.
Well, I think that's more of a marketing thing. Personally, from what I've seen from his opinions and stuff, I don't think he's much of a Sony guy. Like, I think he's more of a PC guy. Totally a hardcore PC guy, but we'll see.
I think AJ's going to take this next tip.
Is it from Mad Max?
That's right.
Mad Max, the Mad Game Cat Gamer with the $4.99 donation. Wetness. He says, Brian, well, AJ is my dude, and this is hurricane fun. Thank you so much, man. I'm doing all right, man. Just had power without a couple days. The treat, man, this storm was crazy. We don't get a lot of hurricanes in Atlanta. And this thing targeted like every biggest tree in everybody's yard and was just like, and just crushed everything. We've also got Genetic Blasphemy with the $5 donation. Says Gran Turismo 7 trailer includes a VR perspective looking into the curb twice and its multiple opponents. So for what it's worth. Yeah, still just speculation at the time, but I do believe that Gran Turismo 7, with all the talk, unless there, the thing is there was a drastic change in leadership and stuff. This isn't, we have a new regime here, and the focus clearly has changed on kind of like, at least on what is being told on the surface. Jim Ryan has done very, very minimal like effort here from our perspective. Not saying he's not.
Wait. Don't loop me into this. From your perspective.
From my perspective.
Don't loop me into this shit.
we agree that the overall gist of his message is that VR is something they do think is cool and
Yeah.
they
Right,
are going
right.
to keep investing in, which is like the
But
exact opposite of the takeaway.
Above VR, Sony's messaging about backwards compatibility and like the confusion there, not just with VR, with everything. There's a lot. Have been a lot of confusing things. A lot of people didn't even know what the UI looked like until a couple weeks ago for PS5, and they had one pre-ordered. Was that after they had it pre-ordered, or was that before? I don't remember. But
After the
we
pre-orders.
just after pre-orders, we got so a lot of people are just taking kind of a leap of faith here with this console. And yeah, I understand they've tackled the most important thing, which is games, right? They've said games. Here are your exclusives. Here are your next gen features. And I think from a practical standpoint, it's totally fine. It is weird in that Gran Turismo 7 trailer how you quickly see something look to the right, and it's from it doesn't have the same UI. I don't know if it was CGI in that trailer or what. It didn't seem like it was CGI. It looked like gameplay, but it is very suspicious indeed. But
I feel like anytime we've seen official Sony footage that has VR in it, there is a little thing at the bottom about how it was captured or about what it was captured on, or indicating where the footage came from.
They did say the entire thing was in-game footage. Yeah.
Yeah. If it really was VR, I think every other thing they've done would indicate they'd put a little thing at the bottom that says this scene was whatever, captured from social screen or something like that, whatever they say.
Right.
Maybe it had a lot more VR in that presentation. Maybe it wasn't just Resident Evil 8 and it was Gran Turismo 7 and a couple other things. And they took all that out, but that was one thing that remained because they were well, we need such amount of gameplay footage and left that in.
Don't forget that when you're sitting in your cockpit in Squadrons, you can double tap R3 on a flat screen and look around your look around your cockpit as well. So looking around a dashboard is not an exclusive thing to VR. Squadrons proved that you can do it on a flat screen, no problem, with the click of a button. I'm just saying, yes, it looks very VR.
It looked like it had blinders too. Yeah.
And if we're talking conspiracy theories here, man, I love that conspiracy theory even more than the we never landed on the moon conspiracy theory. So sign me up for that. I do. Obviously, you guys know me by now. I'm way too optimistic about this shit. I think PSVR2 is right around the corner. Like I'm saying, first half of 2021. But even if it's second half of 2021, man, that's still right around the corner for me. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely think there's a really, really bright future. It's just, again, the roadmap, the journey getting there. When it comes to the next gen stuff, the current gen stuff is going to be fine. But just the next gen stuff, I want it now.
Right. We're very impatient.
Jim Perona here, real quick. $4.99 donation. Thank you, Jim. He says current Rift S owner, but he's highly considering PSVR now that he's disgusted with Facebook's what they're doing to the PC and wireless VR space. A lot of people are on board with you on that. And I'm sort of, as much as I like playing with my friends on the Quest 2, which I've been doing a lot, I have big issues with the way Facebook is handling this.
Yeah.
And I'll talk about that briefly in a sec. But he says, thanks for the A++ content. Thank you, Jim, for hanging around, even though you don't even have a PSVR. Thank you.
That always makes me really, it always gets to me. I'm always sometimes I'm like, we're maybe, maybe people are just here because we're covering the stuff that they like. But when people are coming in from other VR headsets and being I love when I get so many comments from Quest 2's the best and fucking PSVR can suck it, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, we're even getting Quest 2 trolls. I was like, that's just all that shit makes me so happy. I'm like, this isn't just for PSVR gamers anymore. People are coming in from all over the place. Red Rover, the effing game cat with the $2 donation says, we landed on the moon. We landed on the moon. Yeah, dude. If you throw me a conspiracy theory, I'm gonna fucking believe it more than real life because it's always more fun to believe the conspiracy theory, which means my vision of what's happened over the last 60, 70 years of America's past is wildly different than what's in all the history books. If there's a conspiracy movie out there about something, I probably watched it and went, "That sounds legit."
Area 51 did 9/11.
I tried so hard to be a flat earther. I wanted to be a flat earther, but man,
why do you want to be a flat earther?
Because it's ridiculous. But that dude, I watched that documentary going, I'll give this a shot, and I just laughed
No,
the
you
whole
can't.
time.
It's so stupid. Yeah, it's so stupid.
But so much fun. I love that. Behind the curve, is that what it's called? So good. I watched
So
it three times.
tiniest thing to Jim's comment, I just wanted to slide it in. When
Please.
people say they're upset about what Facebook's doing here, and you hear good stuff about the Quest, but the kind of insidious side of it is that Facebook is now mandating that everybody have a valid, legitimate Facebook account to use this thing. Which, first of all, it's for kids, man. It's for games. There's fucking games on it. It's for kids. Do you want your 12-year-old signing up for Facebook? No, probably not. But the other thing is a lot of people don't want to buy into the Facebook atmosphere, get in that whole environment where they're mining your data and tracking all this stuff. Yeah, AJ, exactly. And the way they've set it up now is that you merge your Facebook account with your Oculus account. And if you deleted your Facebook, you would lose everything you've purchased in the Oculus store, which is just mind-boggling and so anti-consumer, so fucking stupid. Like, at least suspend it or something. Like, don't just throw my games away if I decide fuck Facebook someday. Which, I mean, and Facebook itself, like, they're like inciting ethnic riots in Ethiopia and not doing anything about it. It's just fucked up. Like, I don't know. It's a cool piece of hardware, but everything else about it is like,
yeah. All right. So there's actually more to talk about here. We had recently gotten the backwards compatibility list and said 99% of all games were backwards compatible, minus 2 VR games, one that they're actually going to try and patch and fix. Then Ubisoft comes out and does a list saying, well, we've got a couple list of games that are not going to be backwards compatible on PS5. And it was like a couple of Assassin's Creed games. And then they actually mentioned Werewolves Within, Star Trek Bridge Crew, and Space Junkies. Well, now they've gone and retracted that statement.
Someone from Sony
weird.
got real pissed off. They're like, shut your goddamn mouth.
Yeah, no, well, Sony did say that they went in and they tested, all these games and stuff. So maybe, but then we've come to find out that through this like API system that Dave has actually posted some links in the Discord. It basically sends you like a whole list, and it says, they did state that some games might experience some differences in quality or different features not being there. Any game that has like a significant impact like this, they list on this list as bootable, as in like it's playable, but you might experience some issues. And there was a whole list of Ubisoft games. So we don't really know what specifically kind of issues we could potentially run into. I actually ran into stuff. I used a list like this back in the day using emulators, which, if you own the game, it's okay to have a copy of the game. And I tested out different stuff, and some games were like working whenever they were qualified as bootable. It would say like sometimes they would get a crash, sometimes like a little glitch here and there. A lot of times it was pretty minor stuff. Minus there definitely were a couple ones that were messed up, but they were flagged. Anything that was like broken, like this spot in the game crashes every time and it's unplayable, they were always flagged as not compatible. They weren't flagged as bootable.
To break this down a little more, I'm going to read the actual description of what bootable means in terms of what Sony's saying here, which is when playing on PS5, this game may exhibit errors or unexpected behavior, and some features available on PS4 may be absent. Then there's another thing about to play this game on PS5, your system may need to be updated to the latest system software. What that indicates to me is that maybe people are still working on these, but you have to update the system software, not the game, to get them working. But the ones that are on the list are quite a few of like some of my favorite games, and I just want to go through there real quick and read these off. So these are ones that are showing as bootable, like AJ said. Battlezone, Doom VFR, Until Dawn, Rush of Blood. These are huge. Great games. Then you've got Riggs, Dino Frontier, Operation Warcade, Eve Valkyrie, and Super Stardust Ultra. So some of those obviously are not a huge thing. Like, I don't think anybody's pissed about Super Stardust Ultra or Operation Warcade or something. But Until Dawn, Doom VFR, that's big if those don't work. You know what I mean? Those are like some of our best games.
Until Dawn is kind of a staple.
So I'm really curious to see. I'd actually like to do. I think we should all kind of do this when PS5 comes out, we get our VR adapter. Let's hit these bootable games and figure out how busted they are.
Absolutely.
And let people know, because I'm really curious what this looks like when we try it out.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it, I'm gonna, Sony's gonna test 4,000 or 5,000 games to see if they're all cross compatible. Ubisoft is sitting there with how many games from PlayStation 4 that they're testing? Like 30 of their own games. I think I'm gonna trust Ubisoft a little bit more than I'm gonna trust Sony on this one.
Yeah.
Just because they had a smaller group of games to test.
I don't know, man. Preacher Plays works there, and
I can't trust him.
Can't trust him.
Wait. We're trusting Preacher Plays now? This is
no, we're
happened?
not.
That's what you're saying.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. You were saying I thought you were saying you trust Ubisoft over Sony testing it.
I do.
Well, so here's the thing. Ubisoft.
So you're testing Preacher Plays over Sony.
The thing that makes me wonder here is like
there could be a bunch of morons in Sony too, I guess.
Did they make all these games in the same engine, and that's why they're not compatible? That's what I'm wondering about. And like, if other VR developers have used the same engine for multiple games, does that mean all of them don't work in a similar way to this?
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe they listed these three because maybe they won't be supporting the servers in the future. I don't know.
I don't think
All I know is that of their games, I care about Ubisoft. I mean, Eagle Flight. I'm just glad that Eagle Flight
still works.
Yeah. Eagle Flight was definitely my favorite of the Ubisoft games, and I'm just like, thank you that one works, because I still got stuff to do in there, and I'm going to transfer my save over and stuff. So,
nice. AJ, you want to read this Dargon's comment?
Oh, we've actually got a couple more tips real quick. We've got Argonian Sloth with the $5 donation. Argonian, that I swear I got to look it up. That's got to be the lizard people in Skyrim. It says Spark is owned by CCP, Communist Chinese Party. How's that conspiracy? Spoopy.
Very spoopy.
Yes.
AJ, I'm stupid. It is. You're absolutely right. I'll never doubt you again.
Your tinfoil headset. What?
You were right. I'll never doubt you again. They are the lizard people.
Oh, they are. Nice. Well, that's because my my Skyrim guy before my Dracula or Count Catcula. Thank you. Shout out to Reth. My original Skyrim character was a lizard dude Argonian named Mr. Kibbles. Red Rover, the effing game cat with $2 says Dargans are spoopy. If you guys want to see a Dargan, go watch Viewer Takeover. Darth Vader, the game cat with the $3.99 donation says hopefully Visage will get PSVR 2 support.
Oh, I hope so too, because I tried this out on his recommendation. Darth was hitting me up and saying, "Hey man, you have any interest in this? Have you heard about this?" And it's fucking spooky, even on flat screen. I think the PC VR version's coming like next year or something, but there is a PS4 version coming out. I think it came out today. And so, PS5, PSVR2 would make sense. Yeah. And it's terrifying. It's like PT. Like the house changes all around you. Stuff is flickering on and off. There's all these radios spooking you out, but it's really well made, really terrifying. And in VR, I think it would be up there with like RE7.
Yeah, I mean I think that house looks almost photorealistic, right? It looks stunning.
Nice.
And I actually broke the news on Without Parole over 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago, when those guys, Sad Square Studios, launched their Kickstarter and listed PlayStation VR support as one of their goals. And then at one point they started saying, "Well, we'll see," and I basically got them to tell me, "Yeah, it's probably not going to happen." But they never took PSVR off of their Kickstarter FAQ page. And so I broke that news like 2 or 3 years ago, and everyone's been like, "Oh, sweet, PSVR support's coming for that game," and then it just never did, because I'm glad the game came out. But I mean, seriously, it's like that was just a blatant lie. It's like, we're going to try, and then blah, blah, blah. We'll take it off your fucking Kickstarter page, man.
So they already promised PC VR too, but that's not even till next year. So I think, if they haven't even got it running in VR on a PC yet.
But they said no to PlayStation specifically now.
Okay, well, that's a different story. But I feel like maybe on the PS5, once they've already created a PC version in the VR, we'll see.
That's the hope for sure. That is definitely the hope, and that's when I'm going to play that game, because it looks amazing. I watched Darth Vader play it for about maybe 20 or 30 minutes today, and I was like, I've already seen enough. It looks amazing, but I can't. I'm just going to hold off. I don't care if I have to wait a year or two to play this. I will, and so it'll be brand new to me when I finally put that in a headset and play it somewhere.
real terrifying stuff in there.
Yep.
Real terrifying.
Well, guys, so we have a ton of games and stuff to talk about, tons of awesome updates coming out. But before we get into that, this is Halloween. This is Halloween. Halloween. I want to know, everybody in the chat, man, what are you guys going to be playing today to celebrate Halloween? I want to know what PSVR games you're playing.
The answer is Resident Evil 7. Everybody's playing Resident Evil 7. I saw that in the Discord earlier. Everybody was like, I'm going to play some Resident Evil 7. I was like, you know what? Let's cancel GamesCast. Let's all play Resident Evil 7 for the rest of the night.
But Brian and Dave, I want to know as well, what are you guys planning on playing today for Halloween?
I actually don't know. There was some talk of Rec Room, which always has a ton of really cool. I mean, you guys probably saw Brian and AJ's stream last night where they were doing spooky Rec Room stuff.
It's cool.
That room looked awesome with like the electrical.
So well done. Foolish Mortal in Rec Room is an absolute should we. Limited to 2 people. But such, I mean, it took an hour and a half.
I thought it was limited to 2 people. But Mr. Game Cat and everyone kept showing up.
He just showed up.
They're like, hey guys, we're like, he was just like on another shore, like being like, hey, we're like, wait a minute, I thought it was only 2 people. Like,
I know
we would have invited a third person along if we thought we could get a third person along. But yeah, man, that was quite the little adventure we had.
Yeah, it was fun. We've got some Resident Evil 7 and The Walking Dead Transference, Resident Evil 7, Saints and Sinners, Walking Dead Onslaught, Persistence, which we will actually get into a little bit later as well. Yeah. There are some games on sale we want to touch base on. Some great looking games here. So Dave, you're thinking Rec Room?
Well, it sounded like there was going to be a group of people in there. Betty's right now says she's downloading stuff for the Monster Mash.
We did the mash.
We did the Monster Mash. If you're an adult, I would suggest that you guys look up. I think it's from Comedy Bang Bang, which is a comedy podcast.
Comedy Bang Bang.
You know Comedy Bang Bang.
From a long time ago.
The Monster Fuck. It's just, it's the funniest song. I don't even know. Just look it up. The Monster
Brian,
Fuck.
What is on the menu tonight?
I don't know.
Besides brains.
I started up Exorcist, and I was like, man. After playing Chapter 1 again and going back to the police station after finishing Chapter 1 and looking at the clipboard and saying, how have I still not seen everything there is to do in Chapter 1? Because there's like little side missions and things to all the number of collectibles you can find. I was like, I've played this whole game multiple times and I haven't seen everything. So I'm actually curious to go back in and see if I can't, check all those boxes and find all the items and collectibles or whatever and do all the little side missions in every single chapter. When those came out, they were like, again, the earlier ones were like 20 minutes each. And I think we kind of shit on them for being like a little overpriced and a little too short. I'm like, oh, okay, for $8 or whatever it was, you could, get this 20-minute episode. But I think there's just so much more in it than I think anybody even thought at launch. That the value proposition is much, much better in those. And again, second to Resident Evil 7 is like one of the scariest things I've ever done in VR. Absolutely terrifying. I might go in and try to complete that.
So the thing I forgot to mention, which the chat is reminding me that I said I would do, is Phasmophobia. We played with Tiffany and a few other people like Rob and people last night.
Nice.
It was a ton of fun. Phasmophobia is terrifying if you guys haven't heard about it. Hopefully that ends up coming to PlayStation at some point. It's not the most graphically intensive game, I'll tell you that, and it's pretty dark. So I feel like a PSVR could render this, but we'll see if they ever decide to port it over.
Sweet, man. Well, of course, tonight I'm going to be doing Saturday Night live streams, so
Ooh.
I foresee some Dreadhalls in my near future.
Can't get away from it.
I am at your guys' mercy tonight, so I'm going to be playing God knows what. But awesome,
you're
man.
Not going to make it a Halloween special and only spooky games? You're just going to do whatever they tell you to?
Whatever they tell me, man. I mean, like I said, probably Dreadhalls. I might. I've been wanting to do the Curse of Dreadbear some more. I might see if I can beat that whole thing on stream. That'd be pretty fun. But all right, moving on, guys. Alvo has some great news. I know we've been waiting to hear more on that. We talked to Steve over there, And basically, they have gotten their, which they've also posted on this on Twitter. But Alvo has been approved. The beta has been approved on both the European and North American stores. So we have some good news where we're going to be actually getting our hands on some beta testing for Alvo. Unfortunately, it should be within the next week. Unfortunately, we're not going to be allowed to stream.
Oh.
Okay, AJ's mic cut out. So here's what I was going to say. I actually just played the Alvo beta last night with Steve and a couple other people, and he told me that there is a chance he's expecting Monday that they're going to start getting codes for this, which is really soon. And the other thing that's exciting is I was playing a new mode with him called Search and Destroy. It's not just a team deathmatch. It's like control the point, and you plant a bomb and defuse the bomb and all this stuff. He said that because it's in beta, they can patch stuff in anytime they want without going through certification again. So they can just add in modes, they can fix stuff on the fly during this beta period, which should be really cool. So yeah, as early as Monday, we might have codes for this, which would be really cool. Because on PC, it doesn't feel right. You know it's designed for the aim controller, just because it feels so funky with touch controllers. But they've been really upfront and said, oh, that's because it's designed for the aim. So I cannot wait to try that out.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, AJ, you're still quiet, or you're still muted. I'm gonna say, when it's not gonna happen Monday. And anytime a developer or a publisher says, "Oh, we should have these keys on this day," especially recently, I think it's.
Well, he said as early as Monday.
Yeah,
check.
I'll say Wednesday at the earliest.
There you go.
You're back.
He said Wednesday. For me, he told me he's hoping by Wednesday, but could happen sooner. So we'll
Thursday,
see. Just soon. That's why I said soon, because we don't actually know. But like I said, the good news is, and like I said, go to alvogame.com, sign up for the mailing list. But we'll hopefully have the stuff and be able to give you guys impressions, even though the first stuff we do, we won't be able to stream. Potentially next week during GAMESCAST or Viewer Takeover or something, we can share our first thoughts on the game beta. And it is going to be dialed back a good bit. They're going to be taking out, this is going to be limited to weapons, maps, and gameplay modes and stuff like that. But just really, really excited. This is like one of the more anticipated games coming out.
Dave, you've got a request from the Triangulator to give us some details on on how the alpha beta felt so far, man.
Okay, I don't want to say too much because this mode was very fresh. Like, they're still working on it. It only works in one mode. They were actively asking for feedback, how to make it better and stuff. So the one that I played last night was this thing called Search and Destroy. I had already played just Team Deathmatch before. It feels like a beta. There's still some things that they're working out. But overall, I think it's going to give people what they want. That quick team-based or free-for-all kind of just like deathmatch style stuff. And obviously it solves the problems of Firewall, which are dedicated servers and all this stuff that people have been asking for. Don't expect, when people say it's going to be a Firewall killer, that's from gameplay, not from polish. It's a small team. Don't expect the level of polish that you're seeing in a game like Firewall. I would say split the difference between Firewall and Honor and Duty, and you got Alvo right in the middle in terms of polish. But if you are cool with that, it's a fun game to play, and I had a good time with it. So I think people will enjoy it.
Nice. I think people are desperate for a game like this. And
yeah,
it's oddly, how are we 4 years in, and this game really has no competition? Firewall is it plays much differently. This is a fast-paced kind of arcade shooter, where like Firewall is a slower-paced, strategical, tactical shooter. It's just so strange that we don't have like 30 of these by now.
Yeah. I guess we thought Warzone was going to be the one, but then you saw what happened there.
Yeah. Well, luckily Warzone brought us Swordsman, so it's not all bad news.
Yeah, I think this game, I think Alvo will have the similar kind of success that Swordsman did, in that like people want this genre right now. People want team-based modern military shooters and stuff, like a Call of Duty, like whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, and if that's your thing, this has kill streaks. This has all your Call of Duty stuff in there. So
Right.
like, you got your loadouts to customize. You can put a new scope on, put a new whatever, customize the thing. Like, it's got Call of Duty in there for sure.
Brian, you want to take this tip?
Absolutely. From my dude, Danny Parker, the Game Cat, rare €20 donation. Holy crap. Thank you so much for the generosity, man. He says, if you want something spooky / horror-ish, play House of Beavis. You have to play it through. He's talking. This is on Dreams, by the way.
Dreams. Yeah.
The fun part begins when you go to the end of the dock in the water. Just a suggestion. I'm out. Have a nice day. I played House of Beavis, and because it was one of those games that everybody was like, "Oh man, the second you get into Dreams, you have to play this. If the second it gets VR support, you need to play this." And I played it, and it was cool. I didn't get much of a horror vibe from it. Like the end of it, you're running through and how lights are going out, and but it was still, there was a lot of polish there, and it's very cool.
I think it's unsettling more than it's like scary. Like it's weird and like throws you off a little bit because you don't know. It's surreal in a way, but scary, I don't know so much. But it's really good. I mean, definitely check it out.
What's the next news story, AJ?
Next news story. We got an update from BoxVR, which was recently bought for I think they secured like millions of dollars or something at one point that we covered before. But BoxVR seemed to be pretty successful as a workout app, as just a fitness game, whatever you want to call it. And they gave us an update because we've been waiting on to hear from them for a while now. And of course, for those who aren't aware, the game has been called FitXR now. And they say, this is from Twitter, from their official Twitter account. They say, we hope that FitXR for PSVR, Steam, and Oculus Rift will be ready early next year, but we don't have any concrete details just yet. However, we want to be transparent with you, so here are all the ways you can keep up to date with the latest FitXR upgrade news. And they just, actually, I don't even see anything that they followed that up with, but they basically did say, it's nothing. But they said that they're basically aiming for early next year for the massive update. They're planning to do a huge overhaul with this game ever since being bought out. So,
and to their
it'll
credit,
be interesting to keep up with.
To their credit, when they made this trailer for BoxVR, they bothered to plug in the headset and turn on the move controllers, which I mean, kind of gives them a leg up on O-Shape, I think.
Yeah, a lot of trailers. A lot of trailers. I like.
I'm curious. Is anybody still playing BoxVR? Last time I jumped into it, I was like, this game's pretty cool, man. Like, it's actually pretty fun, even though it's more of like a workout app to me. I was like, this is actually pretty decent.
I think our old friend Rob Yescombe has been playing every day pretty much. Seems like he's got like a workout. I see Facebook updates that said he's going live playing BoxVR.
Isn't Rypop have Rypop has a pretty serious BoxVR regimen as well? I think he was doing 4 days a week, and now he's going to 6.
I bet he uses weights too. He always uses weights.
I might have dreamt that. If that wasn't real, I apologize, Rypop. My dreams have been infiltrating my reality recently, which means like the dementia is just slowly setting in. So thank you for being part of my dementia.
It seems like Genetic Blasphemy still playing this. Belramio still plays it. A couple people still play it, so that's good. Like I said, it is a good workout app. All right, so speaking of the other workout game, this one's actually, I feel like, feels more like a game. O-Shape got a Halloween update yesterday, late last night, I think it was yesterday, and got to check this out a little bit. It's not a huge update. It's not like new songs or anything, but
I love this trailer so much.
Which one?
The O-Shape one.
All the extras over. They're like, "Oh my god, it's incredible!"
Nothing's plugged in. The lights on the headset are off. The move controller lights are off. It's just
and everyone's having such a great time.
And he's doing like all the motions, and he's punching and moving and doing the whole thing. And it's like, we know you can't see anything in there. There's nothing happening.
Oh man, but good on them. Like one of the few people to actually deliver a Halloween update, but really didn't do a whole lot. The main menu is a little spookified. It's got like a haunted tree and some Halloween decorations, and then they usually in this game, you're always trying to position yourself to go through the cutouts of the walls coming at you. And yeah, there was in the midst of that, you would also have to hit these collectibles, right? There was like these little orange blobs or whatever that you would get the collectibles. The collectibles are now like Halloween candy, bats, skulls, and stuff like that. So would have been kind of cool to have like a new song, like a Halloween's like spooky song.
song.
Yeah, but still, some props for getting into the Halloween spirit when
Yeah.
not many other people are.
It does suck because this the bigger picture kind of sucked for PSVR horror games this month. Last year we started the month off with Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion, came out like right away in October, and then was followed up by it was like No Way Out, and which was such a crappy horror game. But at this point, I'm like, give me a fucking crappy horror game to play, man. Give me something new that I haven't played before, even if it's total garbage. Like, I need something new horror in VR. And so this month, when this month rolled around, I was like, oh man, is it just Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion again? Is like because the Dollhouse was supposed to release October? Was it supposed to be October 1st? And then it, of course it got delayed.
Second, yeah, it was like second or third.
Yeah, and then it got delayed and get delayed again. And our best wishes to everyone over at Albino Moose because they got hit with some COVID sickness over there. So hopefully everyone's doing okay and feeling better. But that's why the DLC didn't come out. So the one thing I was excited for this month was the Spookies DLC, and that didn't even come. So like somehow this October was worse for VR games on PlayStation VR than the last October, and that was totally unexpected. Looking forward to still though Swordsman, that Halloween update should be out. Hopefully, I'm guessing next week, right? It was supposed to be this week.
Yeah, good timing, guys. Next week is my favorite Halloween week.
It seems to happen. Definitely seems to happen a good bit. So that is true. Actually, we'll go ahead and jump into that story. Swordsman is getting a massive, well, I wouldn't say massive, but a really big and significant update.
Yeah, I should have read the run of show. I didn't mean to skip around.
And they are adding a horde mode with zombies. It's going to be a new mode that is playable in Swordsman VR very soon. He said that he was trying to get this out by Halloween, but if not, it would be very, very close.
Well, at least we got the update that gave us all the jack-o'-lanterns and stuff in the lobby. So at least we got the lobby Halloween update, right? So it looked like Halloween.
And the cursed axe.
In the cursed axe for the last couple weeks. So the stuff that's coming up, like Dismemberment, which is supposed to be really soon, and this zombie mode, these are things that like just seem like they're going to be fun, and it doesn't matter when you play them. Obviously, zombies are better in October, but I'll take updates to Swordsman all year round, man.
So, are we getting the Walking Dead Swordsman Sinners? Swordsman Sinners? I'm trying to make it sound right.
Oh, I know.
Swords.
Keep going.
And Sinners. I don't know. What do you want?
It says from their Twitter. It says Horde is a medieval. It says Horde is a medieval action horror zombie survival mode, wave based, in which the player can earn in-game currency for each wave survived. The mode will feature a new unique map dedicated to it, and we're going to explore adding in more maps for it in the future. For example, an Egypt tomb map with mummies instead of zombies. So
Egypt.
Yeah, I know. It says release date and just trying to get it by Halloween, probably a little bit after. But yeah. So not only is it going to add this mode for now with zombies survival, but a future one in like Egypt with mummies. I think that actually sounds kind of cool.
Okay, so
it's cool to know.
Go ahead.
Good. It's just cool to know that we've talked about these devs for a long time since studios. But when they finally made a decent game, they're making it better and better and better, which is really cool to see because like. When we played Perfect Sniper, I don't think there were all these patches to make it more of a good game because people didn't like it that much to begin with. Swordsman has a good baseline of enjoyment where I think they're just like adding and adding and adding and adding stuff, tweaking, fixing all this that kind of proves that they're invested in it, which is pretty cool. So shout out Sin Studios. We don't hate your games anymore. Red Rover, the at $5 says Werewolf Bar Mitzvah. Spoopy scary. Boys becoming men. Men becoming wolves. Okay, now I'm leaving. Promise. Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, Joe. I want to know what other arenas you guys want in Swordsman with what kind of enemies. For example, I thought being on a UFO with aliens would be awesome.
How many of these did you write down?
Hold on. Hold on.
You're doing a stand-up set or something.
Yeah, hold on. No, if it's stand-up, I would have at least tried to memorize some of it. I want I want one in Africa with lots of lions, with the Lion King soundtrack playing in the background. Come on, Alex Sin dad. Alex Sin's dad could totally give us a Lion King ripoff orchestra. Hold on, wait. Hold on, I got more. No. Go, you guys go. Come on, there's got to be something.
Yeah, of course. I've said it before. I want pirates and skeletons, and I want to fight on a pirate ship. I love the physics and stuff in Swordsman, and yeah, I want pirates and skeletons.
You guys remember in Time Carnage, you could shoot those dinosaurs in the Cretaceous or Jurassic period.
I don't like shooting dinosaurs.
Let me sword fight a raptor. Let me sword fight a raptor. Stab that guy right in the face.
Sword fight a raptor.
There you go.
Yeah, sword fight a raptor. Actually, in real life, they're pretty small. Maybe something bigger.
Decepticons says beating up aliens would be great.
Beating up aliens. Oh, Boxing Apocalypse. They're saying you basically described Boxing Apocalypse.
That is Boxing Apocalypse.
Right on.
Is that what you want, Brian? You want Boxing Apocalypse?
That's all he ever wants.
I want a good Boxing Apocalypse.
Yeah.
That's all I've ever wanted was Boxing Apocalypse to be good.
That's right, Sean B. Pirates.
Oh, pirates is good. You could be on the deck of a ship fighting pirates. That would be really fun.
Yeah. Is that different than your suggestion, AJ?
No.
I don't know.
Shout out to the Triangulator for the $20 donation saying, Happy Halloween, my dudes. I think all three of us are Triangulator's dudes. Non-PSVR related, but what are your best scary movie suggestions for the occasion? Sirens on my end. Appreciate you. We also appreciate you. We appreciate everybody that's here.
Question.
And really everybody that's here later, because there's always more of you later for some reason. Where are you all right now? You're not here.
My friend here and I would like to say Alien is one of the best horror spooky movies ever made, and it's a great Halloween watch. The Thing is also similarly sci-fi, terrifying, spooky. Those are my two, I would say. Brian, what you got on it? Or AJ?
Yeah, so I would have to say, since you got The Thing and Alien out of the way, great suggestions, totally approve. For movies that you maybe have already seen, I would probably suggest Evil Dead 2 or Army of Darkness, one of those. Absolutely love those. For maybe
Army of Darkness, actually.
Oh man,
the other two, I never watched Army of Darkness.
It's a little bit more on the goofy comedy side, but but it's super awesome. But still really good. I personally love some lesser known movies, 1408 and Sinister. I really like those movies a lot. If you haven't seen them, those are just kind of like, those are kind of like lesser known.
I can't remember.
John Cusack in a room and it ends up snowing.
I knew it was John Cusack. Yeah, I did see it. Yeah, I did see it.
Yeah. I'm gonna go. I mean, I'm kind of generic on this because I just love everything that James Wan does. So like basically everything in the Conjuring universe is right up my alley. But The Conjuring 1 and 2 specifically, I think are two of the greatest horror movies ever made. And to go along with that, I think the entire Insidious series is awesome, but it's a little, it can get feels a little campy here and there. In the third one just comes straight out of left field where you're like, what in the fuck is happening? Like, is this even in the same series? But I still like all of those movies. So yeah, I'll give you Conjuring 1 and 2 for my top of the top, and then Insidious 1 through 4 is like, once you've seen the Conjuring movies, you might as well go check those out.
I just want to throw it out there. If we had a Without Parole bingo card that you guys would do while you're watching, Brian mentioning some Conjuring movie, anything in this franchise, it would be Annabelle. Like the center. It would be like the center spot. Like
Resident Evil 7.
Resident Evil 7, The Conjuring. These would be easy check off your bingo.
Dude, I'm a one-dimensional cartoon cardboard character cutout. Like literally, you guys know everything about me. If you watch me for even 5 minutes ever, you know everything about me. I love iCarly and My Chemical Romance.
Oh, iCarly's on there. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, Gabe Chick says, which is better, Texas Chainsaw, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm?
Okay.
I'm going to say Halloween.
Go ahead. You go first.
Just because of John Carpenter. I like John Carpenter a lot.
I'm going to say Friday the 13th. Of those,
that's not on the list.
You got one. I know she didn't mention that, but that's my pick. It's Friday the 13th, especially part 4.
Oh, well, if we can do that, then I'm gonna say Freddy vs. Jason in Space or whatever the fuck that movie was.
Freddy,
That's two different movies. That's Jason X
that's
and Freddy
Jason
versus
X.
Jason.
Are they both in space?
No.
No.
Oh, I just jumbled it all
Jason
together.
X
Well, that's
is-
the movie I want to see.
Jason X is goddamn terrible. Freddy versus Jason, when I saw it in theaters, I was like, this is the worst movie ever
I was
made.
so high,
and then
I didn't remember it.
And then I watched it like 2 years ago on Friday the 13th when it was Friday the 13th. And I was like, I kind of like it a little bit. It's like, I don't know. Maybe my standards have lowered, but
Let me tell you, I have watched every Nightmare on Elm Street movie so many times, and the only bad one in that series, like there's a period where they get really campy, and then a period where they get really fucking over the top, dark and serious, where it's like you start learning the origins of Freddy Krueger and about his mom and being in the mental institution and being like raped by 100 lunatics and shit. It's like, holy shit!
What?
That's what I'm talking about. No one seems to remember like some of the later Nightmare on Elm
I
Street
feel like
movies.
That's fairly memorable. Getting
It's
raped
very
by
memorable.
I think I really only watched the first 2.
Okay, and the second one is like garbage. And if you watch Never Sleep Again, which is one of my favorite documentaries, it's like a 4-hour documentary about every single movie in the series. It's better like than the movies themselves because like Heather Langenkamp narrates and it's just so good and they go through every single movie. And then they talk about the second one and how like it's literally just a gay fantasy, the entire thing. Like Freddy's super gay, the main character's super gay. Like it's just it doesn't make any sense in the context of anything. They've just kind of shit out that movie so fast and no one even cared what the script was like. I mean, I have to skip it when I do marathons because it's really bad. But I mean, it's so bad it's actually kind of good. I still skip it though because I like my serious horror. And I know Freddy's campy, Freddy's goofy, and he has like these stupid catchphrases and stuff. But there's still something very disturbing about Nightmare on Elm Street movies, where it's like those are definitely my favorite. And I don't think there's a bad movie in the series, to be honest. Even though I just said everything about 2.
The chat has some good suggestions I just want to throw out there too. A couple people have said Hereditary, which is a really good movie that came out the last few years. Midsummer is also a good one from the
I
same
didn't
guy.
see Midsummer. That's the one I didn't
Midsummer's
see
good
yet.
as well. Which is crazy because it's like the most colorful horror movie, the brightest horror movie I've ever seen in my life. It's weird how they play with that. But there's also people saying, God, what's the other one?
Do you want to like have like a big movie discussion at the end of this? Like just talk about horror movies at the very end?
I don't know.
Sure.
Can we just do it now while we're doing it?
Yeah. So, people said Get Out also. Get Out's pretty good. I like it. It's better than Us. Us I didn't like. I was really disappointed with Us, but Get Out was okay. Audition came up, which is a really slow burn. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's a Japanese movie, but by the end, it's really unsettling psychological horror stuff. It's really cool. And let's see what we got.
What about The Visit? That was M. Night Shyamalan's kind of return to form about the kids that go to visit their grandparents.
I don't think I saw that one.
The Visit's pretty good. That's kind of a slow burn too, where it's like because he had this series of movies that weren't particularly scary or even interesting for a while. Like was The Happening, The Village, and there was something else mixed in there. Like even Lady in the Water wasn't that good. And then he comes out with The Visit, and it's like, oh, he's kind of back. Like this is really good again. So if you haven't checked that out, for sure, it's good.
Triangulator with the $4.99 donation says, "Thank you. Great movie suggestions."
Thank you.
Yeah, man. All right. So, moving on in the news.
One tiny last one. This is super campy, super weird movie called Nightbreed by Clive Barker, who I think did Hellraiser.
Yeah.
And it's like by the end of it, you realize that the monsters are like the good guys, and the people trying to kill them are the bad guys.
Spoiler?
I don't know. It's kind of obvious from the beginning that they're like relatable and they humanize these monsters. But that's a good one too. I like it. It's super campy and weird though.
Yeah, you're right. It wasn't like a huge twist or anything. All right. Quick update on Firewall. The new season has started and they have a new Halloween lobby. But we're going to just mention that because I haven't actually tried it out yet. I can't tell you anything about it, unfortunately. But we got a surprise announcement during I think it was the day of the adapters or UI reveal or something. There was all this news popping up left and right. One of them was an announcement for Cave Digger 2, and it's called like
Cave 2 Diggerous.
It's called like Dig Harder.
Dig Harder.
No, is it really called that?
Yeah, it's like a Die Hard movie.
Yeah, it's like Die Hard.
Yeah, Cave Digger 2 Dig Harder, and it was Trophy Guide had posted about it, and VR Kiwi Entertainment said, "That's right, we are so excited. Join our Discord, get all the details about the new Cave Digger." All they've shown is a screenshot here.
Not even a screenshot. It's like just a title screen.
True. It's a concept art kind of title screen thing. I'm gonna post it here.
Yeah,
Cave Digger 2 hype, guys.
Oh,
Cave
he's got
Digger
a gun. He's shooting rats with a gun. Those are big rats.
Yeah. I played this first game for the first time not too long ago, and I thought it was okay. I wasn't honestly the biggest fan of this game. I don't know. I didn't feel like it was really bad, but I also thought it lacked some fun. But I thought it was a cool interactive kind of VR concept. I just didn't think it was very fun.
Cave Digger. Are we talking about Cave Digger 1?
Yes.
Here, let me bring up the picture of Cave Digger 2 for everyone to see what we're talking about. It is a little ridiculous. He's shooting rats and stuff, and he seems very angry about it. I'm actually a pretty big fan of Cave Digger 1. It was $10 at launch, and it was really basic. It was really basic. You're just more sirens on my end. You were just going down that mine shaft and like digging the walls, and there were all these kind of twists and turns and Easter eggs, which ended up being like hidden endings and things to find. And I was like, oh man, for $10, this is really weird and fun and just goofy, and I wanted to find it all. And then like they did this massive update where you were no longer stuck in the confines of this mine shaft. You could like literally just get out and walk around and like go get on this train and buy a lever for the train. And when you buy the lever, you can start the train up and actually take it into the caves. I was like, this is fucking insane. They added more content onto the original game than the original game had. It was insane. So it almost feels like the original game is the DLC and this expansion is the core game. It's nuts. It's nuts. So I've got a lot of respect for this team, except for the fact that they made Art Pulse.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, so other than the fact they made Art Pulse, I have a lot of respect for this team.
Yeah, I just, this game starts out and you're like breaking rocks with your arm, and you're like, this is this is gonna really like hurt my arm soon if I keep doing this and stuff.
Yeah. But Minecraft, but everybody wants move support for Minecraft.
Everybody wanted to point and press a button and a trigger to automatically do it. But yeah, I mean, I am always on team move controllers, no matter what. More immersion is more VR for me. Nothing against not having it, but it is more VR.
Stop trying to separate yourself from the rest of us. We agree with you. AJ's cooler than the rest of us. AJ's more hardcore than the rest of us.
I spent 30 minutes arguing the difference between Saints and Sinners and Resident Evil 7.
And we all agree. The only leg up that Saints and Sinners had was the move support.
The story.
Yeah, why did you say the story was better? Roasting you for that in the comments. They're like, AJ, what the hell are you talking about?
Come at me, bro. Come at me. No, but yeah, I mean, you start out in Cave Digger, and with that, it really seems like it's going to be crappy. And then they give you more tools and stuff where you can just point, like you get like a drill where you point, press the drill, and that's where I was like, okay, this game is much better this way. Like with the advanced tools that you upgrade, and it gets easier and easier. You don't have to just do that the entire time. That being said, they said that this game they're expecting to be like a late 2021 release. I think it is very, very early. This is really just kind of seemed like an announcement that somebody was like, hey, they're doing this. And they're like, hey, yeah, we're doing this, guys. Thanks for a lot for showing this off right now too early.
Yeah, I mean,
seemed like one of those.
Don't announce your game like if you only have a title screen. Like give a teaser trailer or something with like 3 seconds of gameplay, something. To get us excited, because it's like at this point I don't know what the point of knowing that this game exists is. Nothing. Fair. I'm not excited about it unless they're doing something radically different and very cool with it. And I don't know if
it looks like the same thing, except there's like evil rodents
And there's a gun.
stuff, and he's shooting them. It's like they're adding it's like going to be like Cave Digger plus a wave shooter.
It could be, who knows? It could be a first-person shooter, but while you're running around, you have to mine the cave walls. I don't know.
Maybe.
Who knows?
That actually could be pretty cool if there was more full locomotion tied into the mechanics here.
I'd love if it was something kind of like, have you guys played SteamWorld Dig 2?
That's
Anybody
funny.
played SteamWorld
That's
Dig 2?
exactly what I said to AJ when I saw this shot.
Right.
Because I actually like SteamWorld Dig 1 better, if you can believe it.
Really? That's funny, because
I finished that game and loved it.
The second one. I played the second one first, and so I tried the first one after, and I was like, oh no, this is not as good.
I got you. 2 was just too much more. It was actually, when I played, it was like Dark Cloud 1 and 2 for me. It was almost like 2 did too much more, and I was like, I'm not ready for this. I eventually went back and enjoyed it, but and same with Dark Cloud 2, by the way. But I did something, I like the originals better for some reason. Shout out to Bell Ramio, the Game Cat, with the €5.49 donation. Says, just because I think no one saw it, I love the Neon Demon. Great film, kind of horror-ish, and it has Keanu Reeves.
That movie has Bell Ramio written all over it. I don't know if you guys have seen the Neon Demon or seen a trailer, but like, Bell, I feel like I'm not surprised. I don't mean that in a dismissive way at all, but I'm like that lines up for how I know you.
And just to follow up,
some people really like, and a lot of people don't like that much.
That sounds like a Bell Ramio movie. Just to follow up, David Moore, the $2 donation, says a better Keanu Reeves horror movie is Knock Knock, which I saw, and these kind of movies disturb me. Whenever somebody becomes powerless and other people are able to like manipulate them and like kind of, I don't know, there's something about that when you really see the worst in some people that like it's not enjoyable for me. It stresses me out and I don't enjoy it, and I feel too bad for the main character to even enjoy the horror element. And so I watched.
How do you feel about Liar Liar?
The Jim Carrey movie?
Yeah, I'm just kidding. Sorry.
Yeah,
he's not in control of actions. You see the worst version of himself.
Like Knock Knock and Hard Candy, if you ever saw that. Like these are movies that just like make me sick to my stomach, and I can't watch them because I don't like thinking of humans that way. Mitchell says Dark Cloud 2 was awesome. I totally agree, man. Dark Cloud 2 was awesome, but I had such a hard time getting into it because it was so radically more advanced than the first game was. But eventually I was like, yeah, this game is fantastic. But the real question is, what did you think of Rogue Galaxy? Because that was their follow-up game on PlayStation 2.
I did play Rogue Galaxy.
That was really good.
Remember what I thought of it.
And then they made White Knight Chronicles. And then, didn't they just get shut down? AJ, weren't we just talking about Level 5? Because they made Ni no Kuni, and then that was it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Did they make the second Ni no Kuni, or did somebody else take that?
I believe they did.
Made both.
Yeah. Has Jim Carrey ever done horror? He was in the number 13.
Cable Guy,
23.
is, in a way,
Cable
Guy is kind of a horror movie. Cable Guy is really unsettling and dark, and he's sort of like a really menacing presence in that movie. And creepy.
Did the number 23 end up being good? I remember the first half of it being good, but I don't remember how it ended. No.
No.
All right. I don't want to know how it ends. It's just a thumbs up or thumbs down. So.
Do you want to know how the Cable Guy ends?
Nah. No.
No. Okay.
No. I don't like to know how anything ends. Okay. Sony should have bought Level 5. Seriously, what were they thinking? That would have been great. That would have been a great acquisition. They probably could get him real cheap too. What's our next news story, AJ?
Our next news story comes via a press email I received about a game that I think recently came out, and it is called Jupitergrad, and it is a mix of this is the one where they were describing it as like Tarzan in space or Indiana Jones in space, something like that, where you're swinging with suction cups. And
it's a mix between the Never-Ending Story and Dark Crystal and Romeo and Juliet and also the Titanic. No, I don't know.
So they have given us a release window for the PlayStation VR and Oculus Quest versions are set to be released at the end of January 2021. Along with this launch, it will also contain the most recent updates, which includes a time attack mode, and smooth turning, which was, I guess, later added. I know Ryan. I think Ryan from the VR Grid covered this game. I don't know if I don't remember the general consensus on this game. Like they send me a thing that said it's got a 7.2 out of 10 on VR Game Critic, which is like a mix between all the VR reviewers, some VR reviewers scores.
Dave,
7.2.
why is Dave in the chat asking for a sequel that already exists? He says, "Where's my Brave Fencer Musashi sequel? That came out on PlayStation 2. It was called Samurai Legend Musashi.
Wait, they made a sequel?
Yeah, it's on PlayStation
well, I want
2.
a
It's
new
called
one.
Samurai Legend Musashi. It's cel shaded.
Okay, I want a new one. A new one.
Oh, okay. Well,
PS5. Brave Fencer Musashi. PS5 launch title. Let's go.
what if I get you a backward compatible PlayStation 4 version?
I need like a water bottle for every time you guys get off topic. I can just like squirt the water bottle at you.
What are we, cats? Oh
Like,
shit, we are.
Yes, you are. Which is why.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Give me,
I put it in the chat so we
can we
wouldn't
get
get
a-
off topic. I
can we
wasn't
get
trying
Can we
to
get a donation for a water bottle?
What?
You need a
Spray
you need to
bottle?
you need a donation to buy a spray bottle? This thing's cost like $1. What are
Yeah.
you talking about? I'll
Tough
send you
times,
$1.
man.
I sent you $5 last night and you didn't even notice for your hurricane relief fund while you're streaming.
The Reuben Hurricane Carter Relief Fund.
Exactly.
Nice.
You want to sing another Bob Dylan song on your
Hurricane.
hurricane?
I mean, it's
I
becoming.
actually love that
a
song.
weekly
I
ritual.
love that song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great song.
It's a show we do a Bob Dylan sing along.
Here's the story.
Oh my God.
Wait. Okay, hold on. Jupiter Grad is all right, says Ryan from the VR Grid.
All
no.
right. That's a box quote right there.
Nice, quick
Yeah.
Spider-Man environmental puzzler. Spider-Man environmental puzzler.
Okay.
He says quick,
kinda cool.
meaning it's like 90 minutes long, or it's like speedy, like you move around fast.
I mean,
it's a good question.
what did these people make before? Never Out? Is that the game that they made? Am I mixing
I
them
think
up?
they did. No, I
Game-
think you're right. Actually,
Game Dust did
I
make
think-
Never Out, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what I've seen is like the art style looks cool, but when I see it in action, somebody playing it, I'm like, oh, that looks a little underwhelming actually in practice. So we'll see. It seems like it kind of papers over the fact that the game itself is kind of bland, but we'll figure it out when we get it. So
I think David Moore just gave us a $2 tip, and I think then he ejaculated
Moisture
on it. Is that what it is?
Moist. He's moist.
Star
Okay.
Wars Squadrons, guys, got an update this week. Star Wars Squadrons. Time
Yeah.
to get excited again. The Mandalorian season 2 has begun officially. I know that show has been really, really popular, and really just some people considered saving Star Wars for them.
Oh, that was my segue for this week, I think.
Right. This new update includes some not like a huge update, but it is the Mandalorian supply drop, is what they're calling it, and they've got some new flair for your vehicles. They've got like a ship. What are these called specifically?
So-
Actually,
What everybody wants is the Baby Yoda figurine, which is purchasable to sit a little bobblehead inside your ship. But only, I think, is it only the Rebel side, or can it's the Empire and the Rebel side
Rebel side.
different stuff in this update. There's like one set of Mandalorian stuff if you're the bad guys, and another one if you're the good guys.
they have a Beskar ingot, a Razor Crest gunship,
Okay.
a Series Assassin
I
droid.
know what you're doing with your head every time you
I
read
have
it.
to read
They
the
got
text
this,
because it's
they got-
sideways.
Oh my god.
And it says, I like how it says mysterious creature, but it's Baby Yoda.
Albert wants us to talk about the upcoming update too. Actually,
Bounty in a blurg hologram. Talk about the upcoming update.
So next week they're doing a thing to balance the ranking and matchmaking for ranked stuff.
Good.
So Albert's been complaining because he's played a lot on the fleet battles, but apparently the way the fleet battles work on ranked right now is totally jacked up, and people are really mad about it. So they're going to redo all the balancing and fix that, and allow people to reset their rank and start over it, and it'll be better. So that's what he's really excited about. But this new cosmetic stuff is pretty cool. Like AJ was saying, there's a lot of little stuff to get. You don't just get it; you have to buy it with the
You have to
in-game.
earn it.
Yeah, you got to
Yeah.
buy it with the in-game stuff, just like any other item you could get. And I think
Yeah.
they're like 1,200 each.
Yeah, they're
all
legendary
rare.
items.
Yeah. But they're
So
cool.
unless you're playing a bunch of ranked fleet battles, it's going to take you a while. So the fastest way is just to do ranked fleet battles.
Yeah, I had a bunch saved up, so I just was able to get Baby Yoda and like a couple other things off the bat. The Yoda's nice. He looks good in the cockpit.
Just Incredible, my dude, says everybody gets $1,200 in the next update. You get a Baby Yoda, and you get a Baby Yoda, and you get a Baby Yoda.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, great game, man. I played this again recently. I should have did this for my should we, but yeah, I played this some more, jumped in, and I still haven't even finished the story yet, man. I know I'm really far into it, but I keep getting sucked into the multiplayer, and you know it's like one more, and man, Squadrons is just so damn good. I have an interesting note about this game too. This game uses dynamic resolution. And I think there is a possibility that for those upgrading to a PS5, I think this game will actually possibly see some graphical benefits right off the bat. There's only a couple known dynamic resolution games, but this is one of them. So I'm actually this is one of the first games I can't wait to get my hands on and see if there's actually a big jump in graphical fidelity with the PS5.
Yeah, so what AJ is referring to there is this little detail about the potential improvements you could see on PS5 for games that have unlocked frame rates, which I don't think any PlayStation VR game has, because the frame rate is the one thing Sony wants to lock in place for PSVR. But resolution, there's also variable resolution in some games. Very few of them have it, but like AJ said, Squadrons is one of them. And so theoretically, those games could use the extra horsepower to benefit the performance. We'll have to see, though. But yeah,
it'd be awesome. Because it already looks pretty damn good.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, this is going to be what we're doing on launch week. We're going to be testing a lot of games, and this should be one of the first ones we check out.
Yep, gonna be your guinea pigs.
I'm gonna go to Shuhei's house and steal his adapter.
Launch week is a hopeful thing if we get the adapters. Right. We don't know if we're getting the adapters.
If we get our PlayStations, I don't know about you guys, but Amazon's not committing to the release day delivery or release week delivery for me, apparently.
Really? Oh, wow. I didn't know that. I don't know how much I trust Walmart, and I'm picking it up from like the Walmart grocery store, the neighborhood market. I don't know why they're shipping it there, but like that's where I'm getting it from.
That's interesting.
So I'm like, I'm going to be like the one guy in the grocery store picking up a PS5. I don't know.
I'm going to look up my PlayStation 5 order and tell you what it's saying. I haven't looked at it in a few days. Let's see. Order details. Ordered on September 16th. Let's see. We're gonna track the package. Not yet shipped. We'll email you when we have an estimated delivery date. So it's not even saying when.
Oh, they don't even have an estimated delivery date.
Yeah. So even though they have a release date for it, they're not saying it's going to be.
I thought we were supposed to get an estimated release date or estimated shipping date like soon. I thought I saw something saying we were going to get that information soon.
Well, I'm crossing my fingers, man, because if I'm not getting it through Amazon, or if Amazon doesn't follow through, I'm just going to wait until Amazon follows through. I'm not just going to be like cancel and go get it somewhere else, because I mean Amazon
you can't even use it till we get the adapter. So like
can't use it until I get the adapter, but on top of that, like I bought it with my Amazon credit card, and like that's where I get more money back by buying it through Amazon that way. Plus, am I going to really be able to get it somewhere else anyway earlier? Like am I just going to walk into a Walmart and find one? Most likely not.
Yeah. What I'm actually worried about is if people want accessories too. Like I thought for sure, I don't know why my dumb brain came to this conclusion, but I was like, oh, nobody's going to want those Pulse 3D wireless headsets. I'll just pick one up on launch day. No, they're sold out as fuck, just like every other accessory for the PS5 is. Wow. Even the little media remote that just like has the Netflix button and all this stuff, that's sold out. Everything's sold out. So like I don't know when I'll be able to get one of those, but I am curious about the Pulse 3D.
You see, Genetic Blast Me in the chat said, I just received an email from Sony saying pre-orders might be a few days late. So even if you pre-ordered from Sony themselves... Oof. That's crazy, man. I wonder if anyone's going to be playing this on the launch day other than the people who already got one.
I don't know.
Don't let me down, Walmart. You've never let me down before. You've always been great to everyone, Walmart.
All right, we've got 2 new games that came out this week. that we're going to touch base on. Actually, I'm sorry, last week. What day is it? I don't even know what day it is. It is Saturday.
Oh, so this week. Yeah, totally this
Yeah,
week.
so technically this week.
Spookiest day of the year, too. I'm going to forget.
I totally forgot. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and kick things off with Twilight Path, which comes via Charm Games, and it is a mystical puzzle game. Same makers of Form. Brian did a review on it. Dave, did you get a chance to play it?
They did not send me a review code, even though they said they would, and I bugged them again, and they didn't get back to me. So no, I have not had a chance to play this one yet. So I will let you guys take.
Well, this is going to be interesting then, because
there's no tiebreaker.
I went on. Yeah, there's no tiebreaker.
Well,
anybody else?
Then it's a tiebreaker.
Anybody else pick up Twilight Path? I'm curious to see. I know Ryan from the VR Grid.
Tornado totally played it. She agrees with me.
But yeah, this is going to be an interesting little conversation here, because I actually liked this more than Form.
But you didn't like Form at all. You hated Form.
I did hate Form.
So where does that put this?
Big news. It's better than Form.
So I think this game kind of lands in the average territory, where I really didn't like Form.
Okay, so wait, hold on a second. So you hated Form. I liked Form. You like this more than Form. I like this less than Form. So it sounds like we kind of agree.
Like
neither one of us love it
on here.
That's not how that works. I think that you guys agree about the developer as a matter of averages, but it doesn't sound like you agree about this game.
Yeah. No, not this one in particular. I think I like the world. I like being kind of immersed in the world and stuff. And it's called Twilight Path, and what you're doing is basically writing down a path on this little caravan, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got these two little characters that are kind of talking with you. They're kind of weird and cool. But there's no huge story here. But yeah, something about this game I'm enjoying. The problem is that it has a lot of bugs, it seems, and they've already released 2 patches. I've run into some bad bugs for it though, and this game has a major problem with some of the puzzles. In one way, I appreciated it. The puzzles were a little bit more difficult than Form. On the other hand, these puzzles kind of just don't tell, it gives you a puzzle in front of you, but doesn't tell you what you're supposed to be doing.
I just want to say, for context, when AJ says the puzzles are better than Form, when he described the puzzles in Form last time we talked, he's talked about those things in the doctor's office that have a little ball, and you move it from one side to the other, and there's only one path, and it's not even a puzzle. It's just a kid playing with a thing.
These definitely seem more like puzzles.
So still, I think the complaint that I heard on Steam was these puzzles are way too easy. You could barely call them puzzles.
Yeah.
And so
I think Charm Games isn't good. I think their next game has to not be a puzzle game, because they're not good at making puzzles. They're not good puzzle designers. You have to, I think, as any artist needs to recognize what they're not good at and move away from it, or try to get better at it. Instead, what they did was copy and paste what they weren't good at the first time into their second project, into their second art piece. And it's the same problem. They're not good at it because it's either A, they're just giving you the answer all the time, or B, saying, here's a puzzle, and you're staring and you're like, well, I know I'm supposed to create some kind of shape with this, but they're not telling me what shape I have to create. So it's sort of just, I'm going to fiddle with this until something happens, and then, oh, now the puzzle's solved. So there's no puzzle solving in this game. It's either they give you the answer, or you just fuck around until it solves itself. So I'm like, I don't even think this is a puzzle game.
I think what they're good at is kind of building these kind of immersive, interactive, looking things.
You just like it because it uses move controllers.
I do like move controllers. Well, I think immersion and interactive gameplay is important for VR more than I think it's important. I don't think that's crazy to think that.
It is crazy to give a game a lot of credit because it has it, though.
What? Yeah, I mean it's better than Never Out. Let's put it that way. Yes.
Sure. Well, Never Out. Pretty much that's a low bar. Everything you've said good about this game is clearing the lowest possible bar. You're guys, for the price, I think it's a little better than Darkness Roller Coaster, or maybe even Boxing Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a great game, but I think there is something I like about it though. Like I said, there's something I just like about it.
Can I can
VR
I
Grid
can
says
I ask if
I
you finished it?
I heard it was very gorgeous.
I've not finished it yet. No,
Okay.
I've not.
Okay.
But
It's super short. It's about 75 minutes long, and I will say that all the characters they introduce have the most minor roles of all time. Even the two characters that you're traveling with are just like, it's just so everything they're saying is pretty pointless. And
the characters are cool though.
I didn't think so, and you know, especially when they try to like reference things like Neverending Story and Spirited Away and Princess Mononoke, those kind of things. You look at these characters and you go, these are like, you can tell that the developers liked those movies and tried to imitate those movies when they created these characters, but didn't have the ability to give these characters the type of charm, fucking charm games, surprise, surprise, that they needed to have to be likable characters. And so you're just kind of like, I was just kind of like tolerating the ride, and then being like, okay, here's another puzzle that isn't really a puzzle, and then it moves me along, and then there's more story, quote unquote, and then you introduce another character that is only there for a couple minutes, and then you never see him or her again, and then another character, never see him or her again, and then it's over, and I'm like, what just happened, and was I supposed to care? And the answer is no, I didn't, and I also don't care.
I feel like it's more of just, I don't know. I wasn't expecting any huge buildup of story here. That I was really interested in, even though it can be misleading because the way it introduces the game, it's like got the storybook and stuff, and you feel like there is going to be something. It's presented kind of pretty well, but then it doesn't really go anywhere. I just like I said, I think the strengths of this game. All the only other stuff I can say about this game is the strengths are. I feel like the world is kind of cool. It's kind of immersive. It's just I enjoyed being in this fantasy realm. And just kind of like going down the path on it, and that's about it.
Okay.
What I want to talk about real quick is Trial by Tang, a Twilight Path adventure.
Yeah.
This is an interesting twist on this. So this is a PC game that's coming soon. Twilight Path had been on PC on Steam for a while, right? But their next game, Charm Games, is called, this is the most bad name, so unwieldy, Trial by Tang, who's a guy, I guess, Teng, T-E-N-G, a Twilight Path adventure. So they're taking Twilight Path and making an IP out of it. And this is like a spin-off, in the universe of Twilight Path, a Twilight Path adventure, which I think based on what we're saying about this game is probably not a good idea. And like, do they have
the trailer, to be honest,
do people know what a Twilight Path adventure is? Like, it's not.
No.
It doesn't tell me anything about the game if I don't already know what Twilight Path is.
No, but the trailer for that game actually looks pretty cool.
All I'm saying is the name's bad. Trial by Teng, even by itself, without the Twilight Path adventure, is just a stupid sounding name.
Yeah, you really can't get too creative with the names when it comes to VR games. You need something simple and.
Well, it just shows me that they're kind of doubling down again. Like, so in Twilight Path, it sounds like they doubled down on what didn't work in Form and did more of the same. And now they're like, let's make another game like Twilight Path that is called Twilight Path Adventures. Like, I feel like it's just doubling down again. But we'll see when we get
it. Definitely is. It definitely has like very little appeal when you see it and stuff. And then, you see some gameplay of it. You see the world, and you're like, okay, there's some stuff here. But
and they kind of like tooting their own horn a little bit. It says, brought to you by Charm Games, developers of the award-winning virtual reality adventures Form and Twilight Path. Trial by Ting combines our surreal and beautiful visual style with a delightfully offbeat vision of the afterlife. Like, they're tooting their own horn a little bit.
If you don't toot your own horn, no one else is going to toot it for you.
Yeah,
well, I mean, we're certainly not going to toot it for them. It sounds like.
I think a couple of years ago they had a much bigger impact, but I don't know. For me,
you go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, the things I loved about Form was the whole audio visual experience. It just felt cool. Like it felt like there was all these effects flying, and like you would turn something, and like it would just be these big gears that like interacted with each other, and it was like twisting and turning, and it felt very immersive, even though it was teleportation and basically just different scenes. This to me didn't have any of that. They tried to do it with like you have to hold the triggers to like bring up these reticles that then allow you to like pull the triggers again to bring the world back together, and I'm just like, it wasn't immersive. Everything looked really flat to me, and everything once you get to the magical world, the spirit world, has this kind of like purple hue over it, and it all just feels flat, like they weren't able to bring it from PC properly. And then you're teleporting from place to place. And it's just, I don't know. I thought the beginning of this game looked great. There was a storybook that you turn the pages, and then you're outside this curio shop, and like the color palette and everything looked really nice, and it had a lot of depth to it. But the second you get to that spirit world, I was just not interested in the art style anymore or the presentation, and so I was like, man, I was just bummed. After the first 10 minutes, I was totally bummed, and it never got better for me. So I was really sad about this one because I was the one that said, even if it's just more form in this fantasy world, I'm going to be happy. And it's exactly what it was.
And you weren't happy.
And I wasn't happy. So I was really bummed about this one, unfortunately.
I want to real quick grab Jim Perona's tip here because I got a good answer for him. $2.99. This is our friend from earlier who said he didn't have a PSVR yet, but he's interested. And I guess maybe we've convinced him because he said, any tips for shopping used PSVR? And here's my tip. My V1 headset broke, right? And I wanted to get a cheap replacement, cheap as possible. So I went to, and I don't often recommend GameStop, but in this particular case, if you get a GameStop certified refurbished one, a lot of stores locally had them in stock for me. It was $150. The thing was pristine, as if it had never been used, like totally perfect. And you get a warranty on it. You can bring it back if something goes wrong, like within a year, and you can buy like their $8 protection plan to get like 3 years of coverage. At which point, if something happens to it, you could just take it in and replace it. So if you happen to get a bum unit for some reason off of Craigslist, you can't do that. You know, there's no option for you. You're kind of screwed. So I've heard of people, horror stories, like I bought this used PSVR. It got here. It smells like smoke. It's all smudged. I can't return it because the guy already, got his money and he won't let me. GameStop certified, refurbished, $150. If there's any issues, just take it back. I think that's the cheapest, easiest way to get a used PSVR headset. It doesn't come with a camera, though. Keep in mind, it doesn't.
I'm going to go an alternate route and say if this is your first time getting into PSVR and you don't have Move controllers, and you're going to need a camera, I'm going to say we're so close to Black Friday, man, that just buy a new one, get a bundle, get one that comes with maybe Iron Man, Move controllers, the whole shebang, right? That's usually $350 or something, and maybe you can
get
the
$300 this year.
Yeah, or maybe even less. Move controllers alone, a set of those, I just saw them today. They're still going for $100 for a set of Move controllers if you can find them. I saw a set today for $100, and I almost bought them so I could make sure that a game cat that needed them got it. What's up?
Real quick, the chat is saying it's down to $100 now. GameStop has them for $100, the certified refurbished.
But again,
it's a crazy deal. That's still a crazy deal. If you happen to have Move controllers or a camera laying around from PS3 days,
that's a different story. Yeah,
dude, $100 is.
But
bonkers.
not the camera from the PS3 days, because we knew somebody who tried that and it didn't work.
Yeah.
It went really bad. So yeah, if you have all those things, that absolutely, man. But if not, I mean, like it's $100 for this thing at GameStop, plus another $100 for the Move controllers, up to $200, plus another $60 for the camera, up to $260. Yeah. And that I would just wait and buy a new one, possibly for $260, $300, something like that. Give it a little bit of time. You're going to find some really, really good deals, and it'll come with the game. So you're actually like ahead of the deal buying a new one. So
yeah, I will say that's the easiest place to get Move controllers too, is in a bundle. Like trying to buy Move controllers on their own, depending where you are. Like in Europe, I know it's like impossible, but in bundles, they're just in the bundle already. Yeah. So I agree with Brian as much as I agree with myself, because either route will work for different people. I think, depending on what you already got and what you need. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm as far as like a headset goes, I mean, I try not to buy used consoles, and I don't think I'd buy a used headset, to be honest with you. I know a lot of people have had success stories, but this is just one of those
between certified, refurbished, and used. Like this thing, I swear to God, when I put it on, you know how the PSVR2 was really, really tight when you first get it? It felt exactly like that. It felt like a new one.
Dave, we're not supposed to talk about the PlayStation VR 2. We're under embargo. We're not supposed to tell people we have that.
Oh, the version 2, the V2.
Thank you.
Sorry, guys. Okay. Well, AJ's already got a PS5. He posted his picture. AJ, I've actually got the same PS5 right here. You want to see it?
No.
Can you guys see that? That's my PS5 right here. See, AJ and I actually got shipped the same developer kit. PS5 right there. You can see.
Yep.
I'm not allowed to refer to your funny Twitter joke. You seem so over it.
No, I'm fine.
That was convincing.
All right, let's move on, man. I think we've talked. Have we talked enough about Twilight Path?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I still just give it like an average rating. Even though I liked it more than Form, still just average. The other game that came out is Ninja Legends, which was previously on Quest and stuff, PC, and finally got it out to us. What did you guys think of this?
I think this is a game that's more impressive on Quest than it is on PlayStation VR. It's not because it's a better game there, but because the library is so limited there that, like, with Until You Fall being out at the same price as this, there's literally no reason for you to buy this instead of Until You Fall.
How is this launch at $25? That's insane.
Right off the bat, that is my biggest complaint about this game is the price. I hate the price of this game. It does not feel like a $25 game. We're gonna get into this. Star Wars Squadrons is on sale for $5 more than this, and this game, like Squadrons, just dwarfs this game in terms of quality, in terms of content, in just every single way. And yeah, this game really, I would have liked it to be like $10 less, $15, $10, $15,
$7.99.
That's too low. That is too low.
15 is like the highest I would go. 15.
Yeah, 10 to 15 is
10 to 15.
Yeah, I would like 10. I think $7.99 is too low actually because it has enough content and stuff.
I just don't think it's good enough to even spend $10 on.
It's probably not. So, like, the first level that you play is already boring and repetitive.
Right?
Like, you just realize off the bat, you're like, oh, I'm just going to fight the same guy with the same terrible animations, doing the same stuff every time. And it's like, yeah, there's like 30 of them. Oh, we got one guy with some better armor on. How do you like that? Like, it's not really satisfying other than slow-mo slicing a guy in half when his body goes like this is obviously fun. Everybody loves that in a samurai movie when you get the kashink and the guy goes whoosh, and the top half falls off. It's like that. But
is cool.
Also really simplified. So when you cut the guy in half, you just see like a really low-res version of his insides where it's just like he's red on the inside, but his body just kind of splits in two, and there's like a flat splatter of blood on the ground next to him. That doesn't really have any like splash or depth or anything to it. It's not as satisfying as it looks.
Yeah,
but I don't know, AJ. I think you probably like this one better than us, right? What'd you think?
Yeah, I mean, for a cheap game, like I liked it.
That it ain't.
Yeah, it's too expensive. Until You Fall, like, is $25, and yeah, that's just so much better for $25. I don't usually like these Fruit Ninja style games and stuff, and this to me is like very much like a Fruit Ninja with ninjas instead of fruit. I liked that there was some weapon variety here, and I like that the level variety, the color palette is really nice. There's some cool design looking levels and stuff. Graphically, it's not great though; it's very flat. I like the blocking mechanics, but the weapons are also inconsistent. It doesn't have like physics. It doesn't have the feeling behind it. It's not a very immersive feeling game. Somebody had asked me, does it make you feel like a ninja? I was like, no, it does not make you feel like a ninja. It makes you feel like you're beating up ninjas, but it doesn't make you feel like a ninja at all. That would be Sirento, would be the correct answer there.
I like that David Moore says, instead of Fruit Ninja, it's Ninja Ninja.
Mechanically speaking, it really is. Like, the way the swords feel is exactly the same, and slicing a fruit in half operates the same way in Fruit Ninja as slicing a guy in half does in this game. It's like the same exact thing.
Yeah, I mean, using the swords, you feel it a little bit more. Like, you slice them in half. I do love the gore in this. Like, even though it's kind of just
underwhelming. It's like super flat and cartoony.
Yeah, it's cartoony and stuff, but there is like blood flying everywhere and stuff, and there's no like crazy gore, but there is a lot of blood, and I thought it was kind of cool.
My favorite thing was when somebody during my stream said, "This game is so much better on Quest because it's got 360 capabilities," and I was like, "Oh, well,
all the enemies come from in front of you."
So I was like,
Quest.
"Oh, do they really?"
Yeah, no, it's the same game.
So it's the same game. That's interesting to hear, because I was like, well, maybe I can make this more like the Quest version by going into the options and turning on the click turning option, because it said click turning on or off. Because with it off, you're just standing there and you can, turn your body. You can do left and right and do this. And so I turned on the click turning option, and you can turn all the way around. Yet enemies never come at you from anywhere except for in front of you. I was like, what's the point of even being able to turn around?
The click turning is there's nowhere for them to come from otherwise. Like the first level, you're looking out the front door of a place, and they obviously come in the door at you. Yeah. Like the other ones are like you're at the top of a staircase looking out at the hallway or whatever. Like it's designed to funnel them right in your face for the most part.
It's so silly.
The archery mode, there isn't like an archery mode and stuff where you it helps to have the turning. I would like smooth turning more, but yeah, there's little things I like about this game, but again, this ends up just being an average game for me. Dylan Gladstone says I haven't enjoyed Quest. It's a $10 game at best.
At best, kind of agree. So like $7.99, yeah. Perfect. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's got enough content to justify like a $15 price tag, but
I just 15 is the tops. And if you are interested in this, please don't buy it at full price. Like, listen to us, please. It's not worth $25.
No,
you could buy it Until You Fall is much better.
Until You Fall. Yeah. Even Swordsman, which Until You Fall, I'd say is probably the best of them. But yeah, Swordsman, Golem is even $25, I think. These are what is it called? Shadow Legends.
Didn't you say you could get Squadrons for $5 more than this?
Yeah.
Game? So fuck this game. Fuck. If you get Squadrons for $5 more than this, there's no reason.
Until You Fall is like one of my favorite games of this year. Like, I mean, the more I play it, the more I like it. I'm almost 20 hours into it. I'm just loving every second. It never gets old. Like
Sorry, 1 sec.
Until I beat this game on like nightmare mode on the 4th difficulty, I'm just never gonna get sick of it. I want to platinum this thing, and I think the platinum is gonna take me the better part of the next 2 years, because I'm only gonna be able to play it for like a few hours a week. But man, if you guys don't have Until You Fall, definitely get it, and it's the same price as this game, $25, well spent. It's super addictive. It's awesome. If you don't know anything about it, go watch my review, which was like 2 weeks late, which is why no one watched it. But go check it out. It took me 2 weeks to make.
It is awesome. Gamer Chick asks, well, does it have, or are there leaderboards for this game? There are leaderboards, but to be honest with you, I don't think leaderboards are really. I don't think people really care about leaderboards, and for the most part, except for like maybe the 1 or 2 people that are trying to get first place. I don't know. Leaderboards don't.
There's only about 9
really...
people on the leaderboard, so I think it's pretty easy at this point.
Well, it just came out, It just came out.
It's not going to be too many on the leaderboard.
20 people.
Yeah, I mean, people said the same thing about O-Shape, and O-Shape actually has like a good amount of people on the leaderboards now.
Is that a cool game that's properly priced, though?
Indeed.
That is a good question. That is a good question. It is definitely better priced than this.
I still haven't played it, actually, but I need to. It's supposed to be really fun.
Wait, is Dan Kiefer asking if Until You Fall is better than Swordsman? I mean, I think he's asking
if this is better than Swordsman, and the answer is no, unequivocally no.
No,
yeah, definitely not.
This is like not even a 5 out of 10 for me. And
Swordsman is amazing.
Swordsman's like a 7. I gave it a 7. I gave Until You Fall like a 9.1 or something like that.
Until You Fall, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like this is the last sword fighting game you should be picking up.
Yeah, that is true. This is a good. Like, I would recommend this game on sale, like Brian said, like $7.99 would be.
If you want just like a fun, silly throwaway little arcadey thing, don't expect much out of it. It is repetitive. It's like a wave slasher, I guess I would call it, which we don't have that many of, but that's essentially what it is. You stand in one spot, guys come in your face, you go boom, 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 boom.
It's Ninja.
Yeah, Ninja. The one thing I wanted to say before we wrap it up is you were talking about the blocking and stuff.
Yeah.
I noticed that I was constantly accidentally blocking them without intending to. The game would just be like, oh, you were trying to block, right? When I'm just holding my hand down to the left and not even swinging. They're like, oh, good block. I'm like, I didn't even do anything. So that could be tweaked a little bit to feel more like I'm like not getting mulligans every time. Dan Kiefer says we need Tenchu VR. That's true. That's correct.
We also need Metal Gear Solid VR and Silent Hill VR.
I think one of the biggest problems.
Sirento is the closest we got.
Alien Isolation VR.
Like I said, I love the I love the amount of
Yeah.
environments in this though. Like I do like some of the sets, even though they don't like, even though some of the textures and stuff look kind of flat. I love the amount of the variety of environments that you go through. There are some like kind of boss fights that are kind of cool. There's also boss fights that are weird and kind of clip through your vision and stuff, which is kind of strange. Um, I don't know. The biggest complaint that I had, one of my biggest complaints though, is definitely like I said, the physics of this or lack thereof. Even Until You Fall, it had like an arcade style combat, but then there was like more to it. Like it had like arcade style features, while this is like trying to be very arcade style, but ends up being like a little bit basic. And like the staff and stuff, when you're hitting people with the staff, you don't feel it. It doesn't bounce off them. It just kind of clips right through them, and it's like, meh. Like there's nothing, there's no feeling to that. Meanwhile, on the swords, you slice through them, so you actually do feel it. So even some of my favorite weapons in this have drawbacks, and yeah, I still think it's an okay game, but yeah, definitely just way too expensive.
So, weird question that just came up, but I can see where he's coming from. Dylan Gladstone, longtime friend of the channel, says In Death versus Until You Fall, which is better? They're both roguelikes, but one of them is an archery one, and the other one is a sword fighting one. They're both really goddamn good.
You know what sucks?
What?
What sucks is that In Death has the tone I'm looking for, but Until You Fall has the gameplay I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think definitely Until You Fall is much better. I like In Death, but it does have like some issues.
From what I know about In Death, I think that there's more.
Maybe have.
I think that there's a longer end game to get into, because I've seen people doing crazy runs on In Death where they're like in some seventh pit of hell and they're like on an hour and a half long run. They haven't died yet, and it's like Until You Fall. It seems like there's a pretty clear path, and then once you beat the game, you've kind of beaten the game.
Well,
are there like secret underworlds you do want to, and like all these other things? Like I think there's.
Until You Fall, even if you beat it, you want to keep playing it, though. I mean, so they're kind of similar in that regard. They both have basically 3 sections. Until You Fall does have like a little hidden section. And yeah, it's got that dark tone to it. But I think just from I'm going to give the edge to Until You Fall because I think the gameplay is better.
Yeah, I think it's going to depend on your personal sort of like preferences. Like what do you like in the look of a game, the feel of a game? Like Until You Fall has a very specific art style, which appeals to a lot of people. But I can see In Death looking better to some people because it's more realistic and gritty and dark fantasy without all the neon.
It's a nice looking game.
I keep hearing that. So I keep hearing from people that In Death is broken, and so that there's a way to cheat in Death, and so that kills the leaderboards. I don't know this for myself personally, but by seeing the comments so regularly, it does sound like there's a way to cheat in Death that ruins the game as far as leaderboards are concerned. I don't know if that's been fixed. I don't think it has been. Maybe someone in the chat can clue me into what's going on there.
The other thing I'll say is that I don't believe we'll see any content updates for In Death, whereas I do expect Until You Fall will add something based on the way they did.
Yes,
I Expect You to Die. They just kept adding to that game. So.
Dude, when you look through the trophy list for Until You Fall, it makes it sound like they keep referring to this something forest campaign. They say beat the something forest campaign on by doing this and this, or on this difficulty level or whatever. And so it's like they've named this campaign, which is the entire game. They've named it, which makes me think that they're going to add another campaign, maybe with different art style, different enemies. I could see like entirely different games being added, different campaigns being added to Until You Fall. Dude, they doubled the size of I Expect You to Die over the course of 2 years, but with those 3 pieces of DLC. One of those, I think it was like the not Seat of Power. I think it was First Class. Was like bigger than 2 or 3 Until You. I Expect You to Die levels combined. I think that I really think Shell Games is going to keep supporting this game for a while, and I could certainly see huge campaigns added to it.
And especially that thing you said, I didn't realize about the trophies where it said the forest campaign, because what that says to me is that maybe it's like biome based, like you've got the snow level and you've got like the tropical world or something like that. Like typically games will have like a forest world, a snow world. I really want to see a snow level in this game.
Sure.
That would be so fun. Like the art style would pop so well against a snowy white background. Imagine those yellow neon guys just like snow's falling in your face. You got to slice and stuff.
I'm expecting if we get a different biome, then we're going to get different characters as well, different enemies, right? Maybe different weapons. I mean, like they've got the structure there. They just need to kind of do, to swap out the graphics with different colors and different weapons. Okay, enough of that.
Guys, it is time. There
pizza?
is actually a Planet of the Discount sale. So it is time to do PSVR's Got Talent, where we basically give it 3 thumbs up, 3 thumbs down, or something in between. We want to see you guys help us, decide as well. We want to see your feedback. Give the game a thumbs up or thumbs down in the chat if you've played it, and want to know. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games on sale this week. This actually isn't part of the sale technically, but it is on sale until the 3rd, and we want to include it, and that has been mentioned a couple times, and that is Star Wars Squadrons. This is a no-brainer, this is like one of the best games to come out this year. The multiplayer is insane. The single player, I'm just going to have to go ahead and give this a thumbs up. It is for $29.99, $5 more than than Ninja Legends.
Yep.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Big thumbs up.
There's no question about this. This was worth it at full price. This was worth it at more than full price. I kept saying that the campaign was worth the $40 alone, and multiplayer, which you're going to spend way more time with, is like a fucking crazy ass bonus.
Yeah, for sure.
Chat seems to agree. Huge thumbs up.
Lots of
for
thumbs.
this one. Now this one might get a little bit trickier. Vader Immortal is on sale for the first time, and it is $22.49.
So
I say
$7.50 off.
It's a good price. I think that's. I mean, you're getting almost 3 hours of campaign, and then a bunch of dojo stuff, a bunch of unlockable, replayable stuff. I think for $23, that's a no-brainer. If you're into Star Wars at all, you got to get it. It's not the best thing in the world, but you should try it, and I think you'll like it.
Say that the longer it's out, the more I'm irritated that they haven't done any patches to fix the little things that bother us. Full locomotion is one thing, but not having but the wrist thing is another thing. And a lot of the bugs, the audio glitches, like these are things that should have been patched day 1 or week 1. And then of course, for the rest of us that just like we want full locomotion on everything, that should have been done as well. And so the longer it's out, the more irritated I am that they're not supporting their game the way they should. But still, I liked it even with all the bugs and with the glitches and the teleportation at $30. So I mean, it's hard to say no to $22.50. So I'm going to say yes, and I'm still going to cross my fingers that they're fucking working to make this thing better.
But even if they don't do anything to it, it's worth $23 as it is, I think.
It is. I think so too. AJ?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you here. Those little issues drive me nuts. But it is a great experience. And the issues are minor, and it is a really good looking game. And like I said, yeah, definitely for the experience and the dojo. I played the crap out of the dojo for a while. That's pretty fun. So not the best game ever, but gonna have to give it. So that's 3 thumbs up from us.
Yep.
Yeah. It really nails some of the important stuff, like the sound and the feeling and the look of the lightsaber. Just maybe the wrists are a little off, but the audio visual responses when you swing the thing are just like super top notch, real Industrial Light and Magic level shit. Like it feels, it crackles, it sparks the way you expect it to, which is pretty goddamn cool.
Yeah. All right. Next, moving on to Aspire 1 for $11.99.
Oh, at least it's getting closer to the right price.
Ever. I will never buy it again.
I'm actually going to give this a thumbs up if you and just know that it's like it's got some pretty big issues, but I like the price of $11.99. I think this is the thing about Aspire 1, you're either going to like it or you're just going to like really hate it. So I'm willing to take that chance and say, yes, you can trust me and screw these guys.
I don't think Brian and I need to say anything else other than just stand here silently with our thumbs down for a whole minute.
It's fine. All right. So Killing Floor Incursion for $7.99.
Yes, it's spooky time of year. You can play with your friends. They fixed the multiplayer.
They fixed it.
Yeah, you can chop a guy's arm off and slap him with it. That's cool. I don't know. It's fun. I had some issues with it at launch. The sniper level still sucks, but like it's fun. It's a good game. I would say $7. Absolutely.
When you start this thing up, it's like one of the best. You're like, this is one of the best looking PlayStation VR games I've ever played. Like everything looks kind of sharp, and like there's a lot of detail in the world, and everything just looks fantastic. And then it just feels really polished. I agree with you. The sniper rifle is very tricky to learn.
That's one part of one stage, though. Like, it's frustrating, but the rest of the game is cool. And if you're in there with a friend, you guys will be fine. Like, don't worry about it.
The second time I played it, man, I got very used to the sniper rifle, and I was like, I'm doing this no problem whatsoever. So it's just a little bit of it's a hassle, but it's okay. Definite thumbs up for me. You too, AJ? Thumbs up?
He's busy.
I'll give. It's so cheap. I mean, why not?
Yeah. Wait. And at what point are you saying no then? Because this game is great even at $20.
The second half of the game.
But it's still a $20 game, unequivocally worth $20. Like, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the last level, I'll say. But they tried to add puzzle solving, but it's still fine. It's still a lot better than something like, I don't know, Aspire 1.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. The Persistence is $20.99. God, I wish everybody owned this game.
Anytime you say The Persistence, I'm going to give you a thumbs up.
This game doesn't go on sale a lot, and if you haven't played The Persistence, like, this is what you need for Halloween. You need to play this game. If you need a horror game right now for Halloween, there's never been a better time than today to buy The Persistence. It's amazing roguelike sci-fi horror game. It's got tons of action. It's like one of the best. Is it the best stealth game in VR? I feel like it is.
Yes. I know Brian might say, like, Here They Lie. No, I don't know.
No.
There's some stealth sections in Here They Lie. Anyways, no, this is the best stealth game, I think.
I think it is the best stealth game because the audio is so good, and it's got some horror in it. It's got lots of action in it.
The only contender I would say would be Budget Cuts. Budget Cuts is.
Then I'll go with this all day.
Yeah,
Budget Cuts is a great.
This all day.
Budget Cuts is a great stealth game, but this is like is a good stealth game, I should say. But this is like amazing.
It's like different every time you go through. You get these upgrades. It's really cool.
Yeah, this is. This is a top 25 PSVR game. $20 of all the games on this list besides Squadrons. I'd say if you could get Squadrons and get the Persistence of all of these games.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Big thumbs up on the Persistence. Man, I just remembered some. I make fun of AJ sometimes. I'm like when he's like when he's like I'm gonna hassle
when he can. He doesn't get many opportunities.
He's like I'm gonna hassle. I'm gonna hassle these developers, or I'm gonna hassle Sony until they give us what we want. And I'm like, they're not gonna fucking listen to you. Blah blah blah.
Well, that's whatever. What I said to him earlier. Yeah.
And I remember I was hassling this. I don't think I've ever told this story. I was hassling Firesprite so much, being like, "Guys, you don't understand." I'm like, I've been doing nothing but talk about the Persistence for so long. This was like for a month leading up to the launch. No response, no email response, no DM response, nothing. And finally, I was like, "Guys, please send me a review copy. Like, I don't care about getting it for free. I just really, really, really want to be able to cover this thing at launch. I'd love to have a review, blah blah, whatever." And like still no response. And finally I was the day before, and I was like, guys, please listen. This is like my most anticipated PlayStation VR game. I was like, I want to stream it for like the 12 hours leading up to launch. Like I want to do anything I can to play this game, whatever. But and they finally responded to me, and they were like, okay. And they let me break embargo by like an hour or two or something like that.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, that was like the coolest moment of like ever anything, other than getting Skyrim like 12 hours early. Other than that, yeah.
I'll say, I think AJ has a similar win in terms of this. We say that nobody's listening to him. That's mostly a joke. Vertigo Home actually did listen to AJ. Do you want to tell that story, AJ? The time you changed the world for the better?
Well, I think I've done some better things in my life.
I don't know. That was pretty
Personally.
big. That was pretty big.
I consider some of the charity work I've done and, raising money
This
for
was charity work
for
for
children with cancer might have been a little bit more important.
everyone benefited.
Yeah, no, they were just going to release Vertigo Home at $20, and I was like, dude, you want to sell more of this game for less, or do you want nobody buy this game at all? I was like, I was like, dude, nobody's gonna buy a Windows visualizer, an interactive Windows visualizer for $20. I'm sorry,
It's not a toy.
It's not a toy.
It's not a toy.
It's not a toy.
I think the funny thing is that they went on Reddit and everyone told them, guys, you cannot release this for $20. And they were almost antagonistic. And they were like, yes, we can. We're going to do whatever we want. We're not changing the price. And then somehow HA got through to them and they were like, okay, I get it. We'll change the price.
My gameplay, I think, is also the trailer on the PlayStation Store. They also used
stole your gameplay for the trailer.
No, they didn't steal it. I gave it to them. I made a trailer for this game. One of my favorite pastimes was making trailers, my own gameplay trailers for for PSVR games, and they ended up using my trailer for their official one too.
I want to see your Preda trailer.
I wish I had one.
You didn't make one.
So what did I remember still being unhappy about this? What did Vertigo Home end up launching at price wise?
Like $12.99.
Yeah, and I was still like, man,
Still
this is
too
like,
much.
like $7.99,
like,
guys. This is Ninja Legends all over the place.
I mean, this game ought to be like a $4 game to go home.
I
but
agree.
I think it has been on sale for that price, actually.
Yeah, it's been on sale for like $3.
Yeah.
And, well, hopefully they learn their lesson for the next game.
Guys,
Hey,
What do we got next? Was that the last one? Oh my God. It's only been 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Well, then,
what are we going to do?
Well, then let me tell you something, because this is a news story we skipped over, and I'm really interested to hear your thoughts on this, Dave, because it's something I noticed when I was going through the PlayStation Store today. I was looking through and I saw Temtem. It was like this MMO.
The
thing.
Pokemon.
Yeah. And it's and it says something that's never said on the PlayStation Store before, and that is early access PlayStation 5. Do you see that?
Early access.
So it looks like
I'm looking at this. Hold on.
It is something we've talked about for a long time, saying that PlayStation needs an early access program because we need people to be able to buy into these things early. We need to be able to, get our hands on it early, be able to, influence the development of these games. We need to be able to just circumvent the certification process, especially for VR games. Just to be able to be like, yeah, we understand what we're getting into, but we want this game now, early in its development cycle. And that was something we thought was only going to be possible on PC, even though, or Xbox when they adopted that. We never thought that Sony was going to do it. And this seems like it's very much the first early access PlayStation 5 game.
It's 100,000%. You're right. I'm looking at it right now. The way they describe it is that just like any early access game, you buy in now for a cheaper price. And then as they add stuff, the price will go up, at launch. But you're getting all that content for a cheaper price if you buy in now. So that is really interesting. I mean, the only thing is, if this is a PS5 thing, it doesn't necessarily mean anything for us on VR yet, if we're sticking with the assumption that PS5 VR with PSVR 1 doesn't exist.
Still,
right now, really.
It's something that we were hoping that Sony was going to do to kind of like expand the ecosystem a little bit more. And of all the things that we kept saying, this is what we want on PlayStation 5, and we kept like listing off all the different things. We mentioned that like 6, 8, 12 months ago. That early access program would be amazing. And then we sort of just let it go because I think we all thought it wouldn't be possible. And then here it is. It fucking showed up, and it's like unceremoniously. They didn't say, hey, we're announcing the early access program. They were just like, hey, they just announced, here's a game and it's in early access. I was like, that's fucking crazy.
Really weird. Because I just Googled, let's see, PS5 early access, and the only articles about anything are Temtem. There's no one saying like, hey, what does this mean? Does this mean Sony's actually doing early access? No one's commenting on that. It's just like, oh, it is an early access thing. But like, that's huge. That's
lots of comments about Dreams having early access.
Well, Dreams had early access, but it was more like didn't they call it like a beta or something like that? What did they call the early access? Did they call
That's a
it
good
that?
question. They might have called it early access.
Yeah.
I'm gonna Google.
I think there's even a trailer that's called Dreams Early Access trailer.
Dreams Early Access.
Yeah, absolutely. It's 100% called Dreams Early Access.
So those are the only two that we've had, I think.
As far as I know. So maybe they experimented with Dreams and it worked out okay, and so they were like, let's keep rolling with this. But it would be interesting to again hear Sony's thoughts on this and say, is this something that's going to be once a generation where there's going to be like, oh, we believe in this one game and want to allow it to grow on our platform, or is it going to be something that they expand on and say, here's the early access tab of the PlayStation Store. We can go and check out all of these games that are in early access, because Dreams felt like an anomaly, and then but now here's a second game. It's no longer an anomaly. It's becoming a thing. So it's really interesting, man. I'm very curious to see how this goes.
Another thing we didn't mention was the app. There's a new PlayStation app. The website is a little buggy. Like sometimes you click on games and it doesn't really like redirect you properly.
Yeah. The website sucks right now, to be
the
honest
app,
with you.
The app is kind of cool. It's just missing the a filter option, which it could really use.
Yeah, to filter like by new releases, filter by release date, alphabetical, that kind of stuff. Instead, it just throws like 12 random games at you to start the list off, and you just keep scrolling forever until you find something that you're interested in. That's really weird. I do like everything else about it, though. I think the app is really well designed, and I love having the PlayStation blog right there, along with you click the news tab next to the PlayStation blog, and I think it's all the most recent videos from the PlayStation YouTube channel. I could be wrong about that, but it is recent PlayStation videos. Yeah, it's all in one hub, man. It's pretty cool.
I do. It just kind of throws everything in one spot, which is nice.
They did take away the wish list as Decepticon notes. It's something I never used.
I never
personally.
used the wish list.
Yeah, so I didn't miss it, but I'm sure you're not the first person that said that, Decepticon, so I'm sure there's plenty of other people out there that did use it, waiting for games to go on sale and would check their wish list all the time, kind of thing. But the one other thing I just wish they would do would be bring communities back, and bring that into the app and make it nice and easy to use. Because right now I don't want to go on my PlayStation 4 and type with my DualShock controller on my PS4. It's not something I'm interested in, and I can't do it on my PC. So I'm wondering if communities are going away, and then they're just going to bring in Discord or something like that, because that's what everybody's using right now.
Yeah.
So this might not mean anything, and it's been 6 years, but I was doing some Googling while we were talking about this, and actually a guy from Sony named Adam Boyes, Boyes.
Yeah, I love Adam Boyes.
Yeah, he said in 2014 that they were considering early access, that they liked the idea, and that he was like open to it, and they had big conversations about it internally. So I mean, that doesn't prove anything, but he in this interview is acknowledging like some of these games that are early access end up being the highest sellers on their platform. Like Phasmophobia is early access, and it's like number 2 on Steam right now. So I think maybe Sony realizes that there is something beneficial to them to allow that to happen. Hopefully they do more of it, but it's just good to hear that they're open to it at least.
So what do you think, guys? Does that wrap up another episode of PSVR GamesCast Live?
Oh, I think it does. Under 3 hours, guys, a record.
Yeah. Time to get your Halloween on, man.
That's right.
Everybody get your Halloween pizzas.
Ooh,
Pumpkin
Halloween
pizza
pizza
pie.
sounds so good. So good. Guys, thank you very much, everybody that hung out with us on this very special Halloween Gamescast. The last thing we wanted to do was deprive ourselves of sitting down and talking to each other during a viewer takeover or Gamescast Live. But man, it's like we really didn't want to deprive ourselves of getting to hang out with really all of you. That's the most important part of my week.
And on the spookiest day of the year.
And on the spookiest day of the year. So yeah, if you I know I uploaded viewer takeover like literally 20 or 30 minutes before we did this. So if you didn't have a chance and you actually need more of us, which I can't imagine you do, make sure you head over and check out today's viewer takeover. And I think that gets us kind of all caught up. There were a couple of things I was working on behind the scenes, trying to get them done for Halloween, and didn't end up working out the way we wanted to. Shit happens, and you just got to roll with it. So we'll be having some interesting videos coming up over the next week or so. At least one will feel a little out of place, and the other one I'm going to kind of adapt and just to make it less spooky, I guess. Guys, AJ, you're doing your Saturday night live stream tonight, 10 p.m. on your channel.
Yes, sir.
You guys, make sure you subscribe to AJ at PSVR Underground and tell him to play whatever games you want him to play.
No more Dread Halls.
No more Dread Halls.
More Dread Halls.
I think there's going to be a lot of Dread Halls. Also, Dave, you got something right here. Not here so much. Here. Yeah. Dave, are you? I haven't been keeping up with either of your channels, to be honest with you. Dave, what's happening over on Dave Station VR? Anything good?
Not a lot lately. I probably will stream Ninja Legends at some point in the next couple days, but yeah, I've been kind of not using it too much.
All right, we've been playing a lot of Phasmophobia. I've seen a lot of.
I know it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Playing a lot of poker right here too.
It's so fun. I mean, we just got Tiffany in there last night. We had Betty. We had everybody. A ton of game cats. It's really cool.
Excellent. All right, you guys. Happy Halloween. Thank you for spending it with us. And I guess we're going to see everybody later tonight on AJ stream. I would love to say that I'm going to do something between now and then. I just don't want to make any promises that I can't keep. So instead of saying...
Everybody in the chat is going to Rec Room. Everyone's going to have a big Rec Room hangout. So hit them up in the Discord. I'm sure they're organizing it there already. And maybe we'll see you guys in there.
Awesome. All right. Well, a special shout out, of course, to all of our moderators that keep everything running smoothly while we hang out and act silly. You guys are awesome.
Thank you for all the donations, man. You guys are so kind.
Yeah, you guys are awesome.
Seriously, I don't want to.
Thank you for hanging out. First and foremost, thank you for hanging out. We love hanging out with you guys, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Prove time and time again why you're the best community ever, man.
So join the Discord and be part of the best Discord for the best community. I don't know. I'm just putting words together at this point. My brain is fried. I don't know about you guys. I feel.
Well, do me a favor then and cue the cat.
I was like, I wonder if taking a shot is a cure for a face hugger. Well, the face hugger would be like, no, not alcohol. I'm out of here.
Fireball, so it should burn him off.
Guys, again, yes, as AJ said, thank you so much for the donations. You guys are keeping the channel running. This is hard times for everybody, I'm sure. And so I really, really appreciate all the love that you send us. And of course, we'll see you guys soon. Again, subscribe to Dave at Dave Station VR. Subscribe to AJ over at The Underground, PSVR Underground. My name is Brian Powell from PSVR Without Parole.
And we love you all.
And we love you all. Here's the cat.
Bring on the cat, because the cat wants to say Happy Halloween to Jared Kiefer, Sean B., the Game Cat in the chat, Argonian Sloth, Scary Harry Flanagan, the Triangulator, Elvert, Mott22, the Game Cat, Gamer Chick 13.
Why isn't it Gamer Chick 13 the Game Cat? Get with the program.
Yeah, Gamer Cat Chick.
Seriously.
Come on.
Seriously.
What's up? What's up? Where are your loyalties? Where do your loyalties lie? Gamer Chick 13. Steve IRE, Spliffy the Smoking Game Cat, Hibsy the Game Cat, Just Incredible, Genetic Blasphemy, Dylan Gladstone, thank you for chilling. Death Venus Blue, PSVR Underground, I know that dude. Johnny Ripe off the Stray Cat. David Moore, Trusty Mods in the house. Nightmare Creature. Good to see you again. Virtual Slayer Cat. Decepticon. Oh yeah. Decepticon.com. Some thumping tunes. Sky Sun. This one to you. Scott Jessico, PSN Harry Fellow, the PSVR Game Cat for life. Proves it every day, every week.
Wait, is Scott Jessico not watching from work because it's Saturday? Is he actually watching live? You've got to be kidding me.
Live.
That's crazy, man.
What up, dude? Bogeyman Productions, thank you again for that awesome intro and viewer takeover. Loved it. Nick Mulo, Anakin. Before we get out of here, Telly Roy.
Leroy.
Dave Station in the chat. Who else we got? Lil Red. Thank you guys, man. Happy Halloween to all of you. PSVR Jack. Happy Halloween.
We love you all. Good night, everybody.